to Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. Today is a long episode, so I will just quickly remind you of Pat's plans in case it's been some time since you listened to the pre-trip episode, or in case you didn't have the chance to listen to that. Pat was traveling with his family, including wife Julie and son Connor, as well as Julie's sister Christine, to Walt Disney World. While Christine stayed over at the Swan, Pat and his crew were excited to experience their welcome home stay, otherwise known as their very first official stay as DVC members at Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort. The Disney World portion of their vacation was February 13th through 20th, at which point Christine was heading home and Pat and his family were going to be boarding the Disney Fantasy for a 5-night sailing in the Bahamas. That should catch you all up. And as a heads up, there's a little bit of static at the beginning at one point, but it's brief. So when you hear it, just know it's not going to hang around for long. And now, please welcome Pat back to the show. Welcome back, Pat.
Thank you for having me back. I just got back. Actually, as of the start of this recording, I've been home for 24 hours.
Oh, my word. Okay.
Very much right on the nose.
Well,
24 hours.
You're saying thank you to me, but I have to say thank you to you, and you don't even know why yet.
I don't know why, but that's exciting.
So when we sat down to record our pre-trip, we recorded, I wrapped it up, I went into the living room. Charles said, "Are you done?" And I said, "Yes." And then he said something to the effect of "Oh, how was it?" And I said, "Oh, it's Pat. I've spoken with him before. He's great. He had a trip on a Disney cruise line, et cetera, et cetera." Just like a sentence or two, you know? And he's like, "Oh, okay. Disney cruise line?" I was like, "Yeah." I explained a little bit further. Again, I was not going into great detail.
Okay.
And out of nowhere, this man who has for years said he had no interest in going on a cruise said to me, and I quote, "Oh, we should go on a Disney cruise sometime."
You should go on a Disney cruise.
And I said, "Who are you? And what have you done with my husband?" Because that's been my whole thing. Like, listeners have heard this a million times. The reason I haven't done one yet is because I need to find a time when I could just do it with friends or something, because he had no interest. And suddenly, hearing about your experience, which again, I was enthusiastic about, but I wasn't like giving him all the details or bouncing off the walls about it. I was just like, "Yeah, it was Pat. It was great.
Terrific.
He's doing this." Whatever it was, he said it. And I said, after I said, "Who are you? And what have you done with Charles?" I said, "You've said it out loud and you cannot take it back."
Yep.
And I said, "I'm going to wait until I talk to Pat and tell him what this has inspired." Now, when I'm going to actually get to do this, because I'm looking at our travel plans for the next year or two and like big plans that we have. Like, I don't know when I would squeeze this in. So it might still be a couple years yet. But that being said, he said it out loud. And I said, at some point, when I figure out when we can do this, I am just going to book it. And it's happening, and no take backsies.
Yeah, that's a full-on commitment. And I hope that after we talk about the cruise portion of the trip, that it just gives you some reinforcement to be able to talk about, because it was a lot of fun. That cruise was a good time. The whole trip was a good time, but the cruise was nice as well. So I hope I could help that cause a little bit more too.
And I think I don't really need reinforcement, only because literally he said it and I will hold it over his head for the rest of our lives. And it's happening, and he'll just have to go along with it when I decide it's the time.
There you go.
And there we go. And thank you so much, Pat. And I feel certain, I try to spread the love around with my usage of travel agents for things like that. So I'm going to say here on record, when it is time for me to book a cruise, I will go with our friend Kelly Gray.
Heck yeah.
One of our favorite travel agent friends, and make sure that she, because she's the one who brought you to me, and therefore she is also going to get some credit in being responsible for Charles saying that he would be willing to go on a cruise.
Oh
So,
yeah, she's a catalyst for a lot of my my travel decisions when it comes to cruises in particular. But yeah, and she got us on our first one, and
mm-hmm.
now
And
we got two more in
continues
the
to help you.
future
Yeah.
and all the good stuff. So it's a lot of fun,
All
and
right.
I'm thrilled to hear it.
I want to hear all about this cruise. So, just to recap, you were gone February 13th through the 25th. And this was a cruise on the Disney Fantasy. And before that, you had your very first stay as DVC member. So much to get into.
Right, right.
Let's talk first about your flights. We've had a lot of weather recently. We were
Well,
just talking about that.
so
So, like, did that impact the getting to your flight?
we did face a delay, but not because of weather. So at 4:30 in the morning, myself, Julie, and Connor, Julie, my wife, Connor, traveling with me,
Mm-hmm.
we are standing at the JetBlue check your bags station. We are going through all the numbers. And I happen to look to the family to my right, and they're going through all their stuff. And I see them handling their identification. And I jokingly look at Julie and I'm like, hey, do you remember the passports?
Mm-hmm.
And she froze and she gave me
Yeah.
a face. And I'm like, okay, haha. She's like, no, I really forgot them. We panicked for a moment and started to do a rundown of what could happen. Flight leaves at 6. It is
Mm-hmm.
an hour to and back. So how are we going to make this happen? And Julie was on the point of, okay, what if you and Connor just get on the plane, go to Orlando, do all the other stuff? I'll come on a later flight. And I'm like, well, we could do that. I started thinking about, you mentioned Kelly. They're very good
Mm-hmm.
friends of ours. They have a key to our house. I'm like, maybe we could get those things sit to Bay Lake if that would be a possibility. But I want to call them at 4:30 in the morning. But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
first, let's just talk to JetBlue and see what can happen. And I know a lot of people run into like customer service problems or feel that the customer service isn't the best. JetBlue, without question, booked us, got us on an 11 a.m. flight later that day.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked. We weren't billed. The woman was extraordinarily kind. And so Connor and I, like we took the flight. We were literally the last three people put on that flight. But Connor and I got to hang out at Bradley International Airport while Julie pulled our car out of the parking spot garage that they'd already taken and put our stuff in. Drove all the way home, got our passports, and got us back. But it was not the start we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Had to rebook our. We had to cancel lunch, obviously, because we were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go to Wailulu for lunch that day. Again, fortunately, it worked out in that we were able to get a dinner reservation for later that night. But it was a minor heart attack
Yeah. I have nightmares like
moment,
that.
and yeah, and it's just a good reminder. It's like the list and the checklists are important, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it is just physically seeing it one more time when you're out the door. Because at three
Mm-hmm.
o'clock in the morning when you wake up and you're just putting your bags where they need to go so you get to the airport on time, you think it's there.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we didn't lose a day or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. We didn't have anything particularly planned day one, but it was an intense. It was an intense
Wow.
30 minutes or so. And like I said, JetBlue was. I had no complaints, and so what other
Mm-hmm.
people's experiences have been with JetBlue, that was not the experience I had
Mm-hmm.
with them. And they did basically say like, this is your one gimme, like here you go. So it was like a little JetBlue
Sure.
pixie dust, but I
Mm-hmm.
will take the JetBlue pixie dust 100%.
Right. And like, thank goodness they did that. You didn't have to really be impacted by it much at all. But, push came to shove. Two of you could have gone ahead
Right.
down and then only changed one flight if you had to pay for it. That way it's like one charge. And so there would have been ways to get around it. Thankfully in this case, not the end of the world
Right.
because you had built in that time before the cruise. Now, had you been going down for a cruise that you were leaving on later that day, or even going down for a cruise that you were leaving on the following day, where maybe they couldn't have rebooked you, that would have been a different story. So I think, the fact that you had built in this time beforehand really helped you out. And it sounds to me like it's always a good idea to leave a little bit of time like that, especially when you're going to be getting on a ship where you have to have these certain things to be able to board. At this point, I think your sister-in-law, Christine, was arriving and was going to be staying at the Swan. So did everything go okay with her arrival?
Yeah, it sounds like she was later in the afternoon. Chicago
Mhm.
seemed to be okay, though they got weather too.
Yeah.
But on the whole, we never caught word. It's so funny. She's not very good at communicating on text.
Uh-huh.
She's very much like a one word answer. Made it. Yeah, she's basically a teenager when it
Uh-huh.
comes to responding. And so we were there, and I think she was getting there around 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Mhm.
So she basically arrived about the same time we did, because we ended up touching down around, I want to say, 2:30, 3 ish. And so
Mhm.
we altered our dinner plans. She did not change hers.
Okay. She was eating at Wolfgang Puck's?
Yeah, she was going to go get pizza at
Okay.
Wolfgang Puck's. We
Mhm.
didn't actually even see her that evening.
Oh, okay.
We didn't even connect. We ended up, like I said, making sure our room was now ready,
Mhm.
which was nice, as opposed to
Okay.
planning to like drop off at Bell Services. We had this
Right.
whole Magic Kingdom walk around thing that was going to happen, and it just didn't. And
Uh-huh.
it turned out okay because we were able to get right into our room
Mhm.
and get the welcome homes as we walked through the door and
Mhm.
check out one of those newly decorated rooms. We ended up on a ground floor, one
Okay.
bedroom suite. Resort view is what they call it.
Mhm.
So we didn't have a balcony, but we had this nice little patio with some hedges, and we got blessed. I call it the so Bay Lake Tower, for anybody who's ever not seen it, is shaped kind of like a C,
Mhm.
and we were on the short side of the tower. So when you walk into the lobby, to the left, there's a short hallway of rooms and like to an
Mhm.
elevator that goes up to a lounge. And then if you go to the right, it's like the rest of the tower. It kind of stretches
Okay.
a longer way. We
Yeah.
ended up in what I called the short hallway. Our patio actually looked out over Bay Lake, or at Bay Lake,
Mhm.
and to the left we could see Space Mountain. And it's not a perfect fireworks view, but
Mhm.
you could see the fireworks from where we were seated. The
Mhm.
Really, the only negative for us in that ground floor location was the athletic courts were nearby, the
Mm.
basketball and pickleball, and the walking slash running trail was right in front of our, like, right by our room. And
Mhm.
so in the morning, we waved at some joggers every now and again. And the construction that they're currently doing, or the work that they're like, doing refurb work on the pool, we would
Mhm.
see the crews come in morning
Mhm.
and afternoon. But we were kind of thrilled to get a
Mhm.
little bit of that vantage point. Now you can't hear the music, but that was okay.
Sure.
You could still see them.
Yeah. Joggers are no big deal either. Like, they're not extremely loud. I would be more annoyed if I heard a lot of people playing basketball all day or something.
It was pickleball more than I heard. So like that
Oh,
wiffle
yeah.
ball on the paddle
Mhm.
noise. Noticed that there was a late night basketballer who was out there the first couple of nights we were there shooting hoop at around 10 o'clock during the fireworks, which may have been intentional.
Mhm.
Fireworks going off overhead while you're shooting baskets. I could see
Mhm.
that being fun,
Yeah.
but I was also happy. So our first ever stay at Bay Lake Tower many years ago, we were not aware of the electrical water pageant,
Mm.
and we
Well,
went to
that's
bed
a
early.
surprise then.
Overall, we were thrilled with the spot, the location. We were thrilled to be able to get kind of, or at least I was. I know Julie would have liked to have been a little higher up. She likes to sit on a
Mhm.
balcony with a cup of coffee and a book. But
Same.
the hedges. This was the other thing I noticed. The that frost had gone through Florida about a week or so earlier. Really
Mhm.
did impact a lot of the greenery around the resort, and
Mhm.
our hedges were a sad brown, so much
Oh.
so that we came back one day from our park and they had completely cut them. And
Oh.
so about halfway through the trip they cut them all down, and we sort of lost the hedge barrier. That's
Uh-huh.
already, you can just like step right over the hedges
Oh,
to head onto the
yeah.
sidewalk if you wanted to, but it was necessary because you could see it
Yeah.
all over Walt Disney World. That had to be
Yeah.
tough for Florida.
Convenient, but not
Yes.
cute.
No.
Yeah, I'm with Julie. I definitely prefer a higher up room because I do like to overlook things partially. But the other part is whenever I have had a ground floor room, I live in fear of accidentally leaving the sliding glass door unlocked. So I prefer, like, if you're gonna break into my room via the balcony slash patio, I'd rather you have to climb to try to make it happen. Like, let it be a little bit
You earn
harder
it.
for you. And then maybe if you make it that far, you've earned whatever you're getting from me because you put
Right,
in the
right, right.
effort.
My paranoia is curtains. I am
Mm.
always worried that I won't have the privacy curtains pulled. And it's silly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I pull them and then hop into the shower, but for some reason
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, did I do it? And I'm peeking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll go this way. Like peeking around the little barn door.
Yeah.
Is anybody out there? Yeah. But
Yeah.
now I've never worried about people climbing, walking into my or getting into my balcony through an unlocked door. So thank you for adding
Yeah.
that one to my
I'm
trip
so
list.
sorry.
Nah.
I am so sorry. Yeah, when you said you're paranoid about curtains, my immediate thought was, "Oh, you're afraid like of a fire being started because of curtains that are touching a heater." Because that's what I mean, we don't even like in New York, most people have like these radiator type heaters. But I know that a lot of homes across the USA have these, I can't even think what to call them, but they're like along the floorboard area and they kind of
Oh,
stretch almost the
baseboards.
length. Yes, baseboard heating. Because
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever live in a house with baseboard heating because I'd constantly be afraid that my curtains would set, fire that spreads throughout the house. But this is not the paranoia podcast. So let's get back to the
No, no,
fun
it's not at all.
stuff.
Let's go back to the fun stuff. Let's talk about why we're here.
Oh my goodness. All right. So
100%.
did you do anything before eventually eating at Wailulu? And how did you enjoy Wailulu?
So no, we got into the room, we unpacked. By the time we got settled, it was time to hop the monorail to the Polynesian.
Mm-hmm.
Explored the Polynesian because you have to walk to that tower, and so that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of the good start to our evening. I always forget how fun the exterior of the Polynesian is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not like, I like the sort of tiki look, but I was really looking forward to seeing like the new island tower,
Mm-hmm.
and just walking through the Polynesian. I always enjoy that environment. That tower is gorgeous. At least the lobby of that tower is
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. I thought it was amazing. And the thing that surprised me about Wailulu was that the restaurant is much smaller than it looks from a video post or from
Mm-hmm.
camera angles or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really like it has an outdoor area and an indoor area. We It was a little chilly that night. It was still getting down into the 50s, which to a New Englander is like, yay, t-shirt weather. But everybody, there's people in parkas, and I had
Mm-hmm.
questions, but it was still light jacket weather. But we did get in there, and I think I'd mentioned this on the pre-trip report. All the things I'd heard about from Wailulu was this, that their burger
Mm-hmm.
was on par or up there amongst the burgers on property. I know a lot of people like the Steakhouse 71 Smash Burger. That's really popular. But Connor and I both tried, and I wrote it down on my notes app just so I wouldn't forget it. It was called the Wayfinder Burger,
Okay.
and it was the it was the best burger I had during our visit.
Okay.
It was like a mixture of a sweet, spicy sort of sauce
Mhm.
on it that really gave it a little extra kick and punch, and I just found it to be great. Connor really enjoyed it as well. Not the
Mhm.
best thing we ate though.
Okay.
At Wailulu, the best thing we ate at Wailulu is called musubi,
Yes.
and I'd never had it before, so I got to try a spam roll, if if for lack of a better way of describing it. Like, it looks
Mhm.
like a tuna sushi roll, but instead of there being tuna in there, it was spam.
Mhm.
And I was, for somebody who's not big on spam, I was very pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed
Mhm.
my first masubi experience.
Did Julie and Connor try it as well?
Oh yeah, we all went in for it. If there's one thing I really appreciate about, especially Connor with traveling, like Julie will try most anything. Connor
Mhm.
always likes to try unusual things on vacation, for
Mhm.
like in terms of food, and so the idea of trying a spam dish was right up his alley. Now, it
Mhm.
wasn't his favorite; he much preferred his burger experience
Mhm.
to the appetizer, but uh, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Julie enjoyed it very much so. I think the biggest problem that we had, and we did this the last time too, is we ate a late lunch before going to dinner. And
Yeah.
so I was part of the clean plate club, but like nobody else
Mhm.
could quite finish their food. But it was not because it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Connor ate half his burger. We saved it and consumed it later. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, but it was good. It was really nice.
Did you do anything else after this dinner, or yeah, you're shaking your head, like, of course, Virginia. No, I
So
was only thinking because you all are like a hit the ground running, do as much as you can kind of family, and I know that you have a big park day planned for the following day, which
right,
involves a park that opens the earliest. So I was like, well, maybe
sure.
they went to bed early. Maybe that was
Well,
silly of me to think, but
it no, it wasn't silly. Now, I will say 2/3 of us. So
Mhm.
Julie is not
Yes,
the
Julie likes to
park
take it a
person.
little bit more easy. Yeah.
Julie is very much probably the biggest reason why we have the cruise part of the trip, as well as the
Mhm.
trip that we did. But no, once we finished up there, we hopped back on the monorail. Connor and I stayed and went to Magic Kingdom
Mhm.
and just wandered around Magic Kingdom for a little bit that evening and got our first of what would only turn out to this time around to be 3 rides on Haunted Mansion. But
Okay.
that is Connor's absolute favorite ride. We got there just before Happily Ever After was starting, so we navigated the Main Street crowds,
Mhm.
but we got to play the wait list game, or the wait time game,
Mhm.
with Happily Ever After, because once those fireworks start, the times go down. So
Mhm.
Haunted Mansion in real time as we were getting there went from nearly a 50-minute wait to a 20-minute wait
Mhm.
by the time we got there. We could hear Happily Ever After going on over our heads while we were patiently waiting our turn to
Mhm.
go on to Haunted Mansion, which is always kind of fun. Uh,
Yeah. Love that.
right. The only downside to that whole evening was because of our timing of getting there, we only got the chance to ride that one ride before things climbed back up. We tried to make a dash for Seven Dwarves Mine Train, and just we did ride it, and we got to do the kind of the end of the evening sort of crowd.
Mhm.
So it wasn't terrible. It was still about 45, but riding those outdoor roller coasters in Magic Kingdom at night is the
Mm.
best. To
Yeah.
see the park and how lit up and fun it is. So Connor and I, we did knock out Haunted Mansion and Seven Dwarves on our first night there.
Okay. So now we get to this early park day for Animal Kingdom on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
So nothing more romantic than getting up for an early rope drop. Tell me about this day.
So it was the busiest I've ever seen Animal Kingdom in my entire life.
Really? Well,
Yes.
lots of people
It,
had the same idea to celebrate love
so
in the Animal Kingdom.
I celebrate. So we had talked about this on the pre-trip that it was, I was like a little worried about crowds because
Mhm.
vacations, and it come to find out when we get there that not only were there the camps that I think we talked about, like sports camps, cheerleading
Mhm.
camps, those things were going on. Seemed to be a large number of people like me from New England on vacation. It was the
Mhm.
Daytona 500 was that weekend, that
Oh my
Sunday.
gosh.
So people were coming the day before the Daytona 500 and were at
Mm.
the park and doing all this stuff. So it's a busy day at Animal Kingdom when Feathered Friends in Flight was a full house. The bird show
Whoa,
was a
okay.
full house. And so we actually we were late. We ran behind. We didn't end up rope dropping. Christine did. Christine
Okay.
rope dropped, took advantage of that with her swan reservation, and I could tell that she was there because she hit every photo pass, picture
Mhm.
opportunity you can make. She lived her best life the whole trip, and it was funny. Every time we were separate, we could tell she was at a park, whether it be with
Mhm.
characters or anything like that. So we got there around 9:30, and even the line to get a cup of coffee was okay, at the little
Mm.
Joffrey stand was just
Yeah.
down the way. And so we actually took advantage of a lot of the things that don't have major ride queues. And the first thing
Mhm.
we did was we went to Rafiki's Planet Watch because
Okay.
it's about to change.
Great.
And I swear up and down, Julie and I argued about this repeatedly. Like this really tested our marriage. Because I
Okay, not the
swear
having to go back for passports, but
no,
Rafiki's
but
Planet
but
Watch tested your marriage.
arguing over whether or not we had been to Rafiki's Planet Watch before, because she
Okay.
swears up and down that we've been there, and I was like, we have not. I do not remember any of this. I don't remember
Uh-huh.
walking by any of this. The people are doing the character drawing thing, and I'm like, oh, that's so neat. I just want to go
Mhm.
pet a goat. Like, let's go pet a
Mhm.
goat before it changes, because it's going to change to Bluey, and in fact, it's now closed. This was one of the last sort of opportunities to do that, which I also think
Right.
kind of ups. The other thing I think you can really feel in Animal Kingdom right now is the closure of Dinoland USA
Sure.
and in
Yeah.
some of these other areas, just not having places to put people. And
Mhm.
so there were tons of people at Rafiki's Planet Watch doing the walkthrough, looking through the veterinary
Mhm.
office classes, windows, and all that. But yeah, we went in, we enjoyed the train ride, we did the petting
Mhm.
zoo, and then tried to get as close as we could to Nomad Lounge without leaving Rafiki's Planet Watch to try and get on a walk up wait list,
Okay.
which we managed to do after petting the goat on the train. And it was just
Mhm.
funny. Like we hit this magic point where it's like, okay, you're close enough in the Africa section to get on the wait list, and ended up setting ourselves up for around a 12:15 ish,
Okay.
right around lunchtime before it
Okay.
closed out.
And this is your first visit to Nomad Lounge, correct?
Yeah, we never we've tried a couple of different times and just have
Mhm.
never been able to land one of those spots before they either closed up for the day or we were just in the wrong
Mhm.
part of the park.
Mhm.
So we were very, Julie and I in particular were very excited about this.
Sure. When you finished Rafiki's Planet Watch, you got on the list. How long did you have to wait before it was your turn? That was
It
what
was a
happened
couple
at 12
hours.
whatever,
Yeah,
12:30?
so I think we got close
Okay.
enough around 11 ish, and it was like an hour and 15. So we ended
Mhm.
up going back to Asia and doing the tiger trek
Mhm.
while we killed time, and was really lucky because we saw both Bosco and his mom now that they're separated, but Bosco was really active
Mhm.
and sort of like running around and playing. And anybody
Mhm.
who's been on, the Kilimanjaro safari knows the big cats nap a lot. So
Yeah.
to actually not just see a tiger like lying there, but to
Right.
see him like active and engaging and sort of playing with
Mhm.
stuff, that was cool. That's fun, and that's what I think makes Animal Kingdom
Right.
unique and special. You know,
Mhm.
we would after Nomad go back and do the gorilla walk too,
Mhm.
and it was the same thing. Just they were because it was so cool. It was only 75 degrees the whole time we were there,
Which is
which was just aw and
perfect.
the animals were so comfortable, and
Yeah.
that leads to a better experience. But
Mhm.
doing the jungle trek was great. Christine's very much into photography. Like she brought her own special cameras to get all these pictures of animals.
Mhm.
I think I mentioned this before. She would do a lot of photography at the Brookfield Zoo, and
Mhm.
was a volunteer there for a long time. So seeing these sorts of enclosures is always very exciting. But then we got to Nomad, where we had a couple of really awesome things happen. One, we learned that it's the best wings on property anywhere we've ever eaten. Um,
Okay.
order the
I'm
wings.
glad to Lord of the Wings.
No, order
Uh,
the wings. But
oh,
yes, Lord of the
I
Wings too.
thought you were saying
I
Lord
did
of the
not. I did
Wings
not
because
do.
they're the best
It's
at wings, and I was like, Pat, like you were after my pun-filled heart with that one. Um, but what I was gonna say is, I'm glad to hear you say that for other people's knowledge because I am not somebody who ever eats wings. I don't like wings because I think I said this on a very recent episode. Like, I'm not a fan of eating meat on a bone unless it's the only thing that's being served.
fair.
It's just a preference thing. But so I would have never ordered that to be able to tell people that they were tasty. So breaking news,
Yeah.
apparently, everyone, the wings are
Well,
good.
and Julie can back that up too. She's not a big wings person at all, and
Mhm.
this was one of the nice trends that happened out of this, and was I feel like so many different food locations we got quote unquote pixie dusted, and so many people talk about
Mhm.
what it means to be pixie dusted at the parks, and that it's these big just these big special things that happen that are done by cast members to sort of make the trip better. And for me,
Mhm.
it's really about just sort of the quality of customer service that Walt Disney can give
Mhm.
you, and the extra steps they take. And so when we had gotten to Nomad, we sit down. Uh, the staff comes by to take our first order. We ordered the bread service, which is also
Of course.
delicious. It was great.
Mhm.
We ordered the bread service. We ordered the churro because we heard it's the best churro on
Mhm.
property. And then we ordered these wings. And while we're waiting, I needed to use the restroom. So I get up and I leave. And by the time I return, the food has arrived, but there is a single wing and like half a churro left behind. And the wait staff happens to be standing there. And Julie's like, don't worry, we're gonna order more. And I was like, I
Uh-huh.
should hope so. I left for 3 minutes and clearly it was delicious because it is gone.
Wow.
And the wait staff, even though they had no need to do this, there was no reason to do this. She actually rushed our second order. We got
Mhm.
our second round of food in less than 5 minutes. It felt like it was
Okay.
like I sat back down, and she was just like, I told them Dad didn't have a chance to eat anything before it was gone, and asked to move you up,
Uh-huh.
and they did. And that's the
Nice.
sort of stuff that I think gets overlooked a lot of times when we look
Mhm.
at good service. And that was to me, that was like, oh, that feels like a pixie dusting thing. Like
Right.
that made my day better, and that made our day
Yeah.
better.
And that's exactly what it is. I hear a lot of people talk about pixie dusting, and it feels like it gets, um, you know, it it's wrapped up with people getting something of like a high monetary value, or not even a high, not but like some monetary value.
Right.
And presumably you paid for that second round. It's not like you got them for free, but the
Right.
fact that
Absolutely.
they pushed it up means that she recognized what had happened and did something to make your day better, and that is what it's all about. So I love that. I love that you brought that up because
And,
I think a lot of people are like, "How can I get pixie dusted? What did you get? What did you get?" And it's really it's a combination of things. Like you have everything from just little moments of like a cast member handed me a sticker, or
right.
somebody made sure that they made space for me so that I could see something or whatever, up to these bigger things where it's like, oh, they gave me multipass for the day for free. It could be
Right.
any of those
And
things.
and
Come in
I've
with no
never had that
expectations.
happen. Right.
Ugh.
And I think that's makes those so much better when you do come in with no expectations and then it
Hmm.
comes through.
Yeah.
So it was a nice little bonus
Hmm.
and made for a nice lunch.
Do you remember what you got to drink by chance?
Did I write it down? We did. I got the tempting tigress. I remember that. And
Okay.
Julie tried Jen's tattoo.
Which
She
is
didn't
my
care for it.
favorite.
It was a little too sweet for
It is.
her
It's
palate.
sweet. It's
Uh,
watermelony.
yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the tempting tigress. Anything that resembles any sort of a whiskey drink with an old fashioned sort of deal is
Mhm.
going to work for me.
Mhm. Okay.
And yeah, I may have had two. I lost
Maybe. Allegedly. All right. What happened after your Nomad Lounge experience?
So as I mentioned before, we did the gorilla trek, and then we started to look at wake times, and it really came down to Expedition Everest, which
Mhm.
usually has a pretty low wait time, or trying to get Kilimanjaro Safari. And so when we open up the app, I was like, oh, it's only like 40 minutes for
Mhm.
Everest. Let's make our way there. Let's get Everest in. Julie loves that roller coaster, and in our last 4 trips has not been able to ride it.
Oh.
This story continues in this trip. She did not ride Expedition Everest because by the time we started to make our way there, the wait time jumped up to over 60 minutes.
Oh, no.
And and so I started to look at the Safari. So we switched over to the Safari wait, and the Safari had dropped. And so we started wait time chasing,
Mhm.
which in hindsight, I wish we would have purchased the Lightning Lane, even though
Mhm.
typically for Animal Kingdom, it's not something you need to do.
Right.
But with just the numbers, it just seemed like we were following moving targets. So we ended up getting in line for Kilimanjaro Safaris, which by the time we got there had bumped up to a 45, and then there was, I guess, a lazy rhino or something, or a giraffe that was being stubborn, because the cruise the trip itself to getting on there, it kept getting delayed and
Mhm.
delayed. But that's just something you deal with
Mhm.
Kilimanjaro safaris. Like that experience also happens when you're on the ride, and so
Right.
that's just
Yeah.
kind of the way it is. And and it's done to respect the animals.
Yeah.
I will say it was one of the best safaris I've been on in terms
Mhm.
of just what I actually got to see. We got to see painted dogs that were very, very active, which sometimes we don't see. We saw warthogs walking about. The lions were out.
Mhm.
It was just every sort of animal you saw. If you're ever when you're in the vehicle, there's the picture of all the animals you could possibly see. It felt
Mhm.
like we saw most of them, and that's
Yeah.
just so great.
And I think, like, in terms of if you're thinking about a ride and a wait time, like in terms of return on investment, right? So 45 minutes to ride something that's already going to be like 20 minutes, and maybe you're going to get stopped and it's going to be even longer than that, and you're going to get to sit there and watch the animals because something's happening, is a good return on investment. Whereas Expedition Everest, which I love, but 60 minutes for a ride that's going to take 2 minutes
Right,
is not a good return on investment. I would never, and I don't really like to wait in lines that much anyway, but 60 minutes, never,
right.
never. Um, but I will do the single rider line if I really wanted to ride it, just because the single rider line goes
Yeah,
pretty
and I think
quickly.
I think if it hadn't been all 4 of us, we may
Right.
have done that. But you have to be split up
Yeah.
if you do that, and that's we weren't willing to do that with all 4 of us there, and
Hmm.
so that was actually the last thing we were able to do at Animal Kingdom because we had a 5:30 Boma reservation.
Yeah. All right. Tell me about Boma then.
So I disappointed is the wrong word. I wasn't disappointed. Uh, it was it did not meet my expectations though. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if
That's a good way to frame that.
I don't know if I was just expecting something more exotic
Mm.
or what it was. The food was good. It's a buffet style dinner. I think this the way that the room is set up, where they have like the sort of the hot proteins carving station is at this one end, and the line for that just wrapped through the entire restaurant. I don't know if it's just bad timing of when we came
Mm-hmm.
to do dinner because it was basically right when it opened for dinner, but for the wait that we did and what we actually were able to enjoy, it didn't feel economical, and the food was good, but it wasn't like it didn't blow me away, and I don't know if I would go back to Boma unless I were staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
Or in this case, we had Julie Connor and Chris had the Starlight Safari that night, so we were going to be there anyway
Right.
at the lodge, and so um, that really kind of
Mm-hmm.
it was fine, but it
Okay.
wasn't what I would go to again.
It colored
The
your
zebra domes were good.
experience.
Yeah, the zebra
Okay.
domes were lovely.
Okay. Good to know. And how did they enjoy their Starlight Safari?
Connor really loved it. If for no other reason that, and maybe it's just the uniqueness of the night vision goggles and being able to
Yeah.
take pictures with it. Like he has a picture I'm hoping he sends me to send to you that he got of the giraffes in the savannah that they were just lying by a tree. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
really good photo. Like I
Yeah.
was really impressed with the quality of pictures he took. They had a great time. I think the thing that was really interesting from what they talked about is, it's intimate. It's a little repetitive. It's not like you're
Mm.
going through all of the Savannah View areas within Animal Kingdom Lodge. It sounds like they were in a specific one between Kidani Village and why am I losing the name of the other
Jumbo House.
Jumbo House?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they saw zebras, they saw giraffes, much more comfortably, but there were still Julie described this. There's still a clear like barrier there. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like they're coming up on the truck or anything like that. There were a couple times where one of the cast members had to get off the truck for something, but very heavily protocoled
Mm-hmm.
because you're still like it's still wildlife and it's still animals that
Right.
they want to keep um, as close to being in their habitat as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But the experience was very fun. It lasted about an hour for them, and I know Chris and Connor both got a ton of pictures and seemed to really enjoy it. And
Mm-hmm.
Julie enjoyed it too, but those two really took it to a different level in terms
Yeah.
of their enjoyment. So I was glad that they did it.
Okay. And meanwhile, on the other side of the world, the Disney
Right.
World, you were heading over to Epcot to enjoy some Susan Egan and James Monroe Englehart for Disney on Broadway. Did you make it over there and get a seat?
I did. I was surprised. So I was aiming for the 8 o'clock show, the last show of the night. Uh, I was surprised by the line, but then once you actually get into the pavilion itself, you're totally right. Like there was plenty of seats available. Wouldn't have had a problem if I had walked up right at concert time and grabbing a
Mm-hmm.
seat. That being said, I was glad to get in there. I was about middle-ish of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
They were terrific. They were everything I could have wanted out of seeing that performance. They did 10 songs. Folks, if you are into Disney on Broadway, expect a Tangled show that like they both did songs from Tangled.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting. Tangled got two tunes. Aladdin just got Never Had a Friend Like Me, and and Beauty and the Beast. I think they sang Beauty and the Beast together,
Mm-hmm.
and Susan Egan sang the song Belle's song from the production that was just in the production. I can't remember the name of it for the life of
Home.
me. Home, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and she sang that one, and that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like this interesting attention to Tangled in this production. We got one song from The Lion King, We got it was really interesting and very telling.
Yeah, I have to think it has to do with them starting to promote the fact that they're going to be making the live action.
Yeah,
So, like
it
drumming up some excitement about it.
yeah, it's very much the way they talked about it. And from what I understand from other performances, and what's interesting is Susan and James did other shows while we were in Epcot, and the lines for them for their later performances during the week
Mhm.
were crazy. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
talking like weird maze
Mm.
of just people lining up. So, and part of that is who they are, right?
Yeah.
Because they're, you've got the voice of Meg, you've got the original Genie, you got the original
Mhm.
Belle. But I was glad I went on Sunday, and I'm glad I went to
Mhm.
like the last show on Sunday because it seemed to work out
Saturday.
in my favor. Saturday, that's right.
Yeah.
It seemed to work out in my favor. It all blends
Yeah.
together. It was,
Yeah. That
and then I
happens
got
when
to
you're on
stay
vacation.
right, and then I got to stay for Luminous,
Mhm.
and just watched Luminous right off the stage. Had a great spot from the America Pavilion. Uh, Still my favorite. I put my money. I don't. It's because of my kid, but it's still. I love that show. I love
Mhm.
that show. Enjoyed
Yeah.
watching every second of it. Made my heart smile.
Good. 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 All right. So that brings us to Sunday, February 15th, which was a Hollywood Studios day. And I did note, in terms of the things you told me that you were going to be prioritizing for the day, I wrote down all the Star Wars. Like every Star War was going to be experienced on this day.
Well, we tried. Um, we did get to do Rise of the Resistance.
Okay.
The it was very so. This was one of the Lightning Lane days that
Mhm.
we did, and I had purchased Lightning Lanes. We
Yes.
did the individual Lightning Lane for Rise.
Mhm.
We booked Toy Story Mania, Slinky Dog Dash, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway to
Mhm.
kind of split things up. Those were the only Lightning Lanes we were able to procure. We started later
Oh,
in the day, but
okay.
I tried so hard to reschedule and move stuff up and get it
Mhm.
done earlier, and it did not
Mm.
happen. Every time I would look, things were sold out.
Yeah.
We kicked off our day seeing the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular,
Okay. How is
and
that? Did
then
everybody survive the boulder roll this time?
well, there's no boulder roll right now, and
Oh, they took it
so
out
it's
completely right now. Okay.
so currently it's out, and so Indiana Jones drops down from the ceiling and he does most of the routine, and then when he gets to the boulder roll, there's like a flash of smoke or something that they do to kind of replace that
Mhm.
before they go into it.
Mm.
So here's the thing: is if you didn't know the boulder roll was there,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know. But
Right. There's
everybody's
plenty of
talking
other
about how the boulder
things.
roll is not there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was also really windy that day, and so it had an effect on the big finale with all the fire. They did less fire
Okay.
for the finale because, and they noted it a couple of times. Like we got a big
Mhm.
announcement before the show started, and then they even made a point to talk about it repeatedly during the show itself. So
Mhm.
it's still a lot of fun. It's something that Christine really wanted to see, so
Mhm.
we made a point to go see it. I think it's something everybody should see at least once.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. Love the actually my favorite part of that show is like learning the blocking of the sort of the fight sequences,
Mhm.
and just sort of how they put that all together to create a great illusion for an audience.
Mhm. I do really enjoy that show. I wish that we could go back to pre-pandemic times with the audience participation and
See,
all
and
of
I've
that.
never experienced that.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, it was fun.
No,
It was always a good time. I never got picked for it. I don't know how people got picked. I don't think I ever tried to get picked, but yeah, it seems like it would have been a good time to get up there and be one of the people in the show.
that would be I mean, I would be in. I still want to be. I just want to be the rebel spy on Star Tours.
Oh my god, me too. Yes,
Never
every
been.
time. I hold out
Tried
hope.
again. Connor and I, who because we don't get shaken up by motion rides. We did
Mhm.
ride Star Tours just to kind of kill a little time. We did make our way through. Um, we did make our way through Galaxy's Edge a couple of different times here or there,
Mhm.
but it just again it was just so crowded. So it was a
Yeah.
very 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 busy day. We I had made a mistake in booking the individual lightning lanes. Julie did not want to ride, and I accidentally booked her.
Oh, okay.
Then I tried to reschedule the ride and remove her from the lightning lane, and it wouldn't let me do it. So Julie had this by herself 11:15 Rise of the Resistance lightning lane. Meanwhile, Chris, Connor, and I had one at like 2:30 in the afternoon when I tried to reschedule it. So Chris
Mhm.
got to ride twice
Okay.
because I did not feel comfortable taking my wife's magic band and having her face pop up on a screen and being like, "Hey," just
I
felt
don't
weird.
think the faces pop up. I don't think you have to worry about that.
Sometimes they say my name and I just like,
No,
I don't
I
know,
think it might show their name, but
maybe.
I don't think it shows your face. I've
Well,
never noticed that.
I was such a rule follower that I was like, at least not
Yeah.
I'm at least gonna go with take your sister. Say so. Chris got to ride it twice, which is
Yeah.
fine. I've ridden it several times.
Yeah.
Uh,
My thing is, first of all, this was something that you paid for. So
right,
you taking a spot that you purchased, even if it was you writing twice, like I am
sure.
a rule follower of all rule followers. And even I'm like, that's not a big deal. I paid for it. And then even if it was the multi-pass lightning lane, I don't think it's a big deal to take somebody else's magic band in your party and go take advantage of the ride if they don't want to do it either. And that's because I'm not taking away from somebody else's ability to ride
That's
it
fair.
because that person was planning to ride from my party anyway. It's just, it's my body going on the ride instead of theirs.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, I give a little bit of grace when it comes to lightning lanes
It's
and
fair. That's
following
fair.
rules. um, okay, where did you go for lunch? Because I wrote down that you thought you'd go to ABC Commissary.
Shrimp tacos.
Oh
Have
yeah,
to go get. I
okay.
love the shrimp tacos at ABC Commissary, and outside of finding a table,
Mm-hmm.
it was everything I could have hoped for. Got
Mm-hmm.
my shrimp tacos. Connor got a sandwich. I want to say like of some burgers or whatever. But those ever since ABC Commissary switched its menu from the deli style,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It wasn't very appealing. It wasn't very appetizing,
Mm-hmm.
and it may just be that there's one thing on the menu that I love,
There's
but
more than one good thing on that menu, Pat.
but I got my shrimp tacos twice
Because the shrimp
that you know
tacos
on
are
the trip.
good.
Yeah,
The buffalo chicken grilled cheese sandwich.
I've
Um,
heard about that. Yeah,
yes. Shout out to my fave WDW runner, the WDW runner who introduced me to that. I always have to shout him out, and I know he's laughing listening to this right now.
there you go.
And then also they have a really good, and I don't know what they call it, but it's like a Mediterranean bowl that has like
Yeah,
hummus,
yeah,
and
I've seen
you can
that.
get chicken if you want, and but you don't have to. That is an excellent bowl as well. Like there are multiple fantastic options that are not just a burger or chicken fingers.
Right.
So,
And yeah, it pleases me to no end because the first time I ate there, I was like, it's a lot of space for
mhm.
some kind of boring stuff.
Yeah, no more. Now,
No
I
more.
have to inquire because you had that first day where you mentioned eating lunch before a dinner and not having a whole lot of time. I know that you had a 4:45 Hollywood and Vine reservation for this day, which is a very early dinner to me
It
at
was.
least. So what part of the day are we in when you were at excuse me, at ABC
This was close.
Commissary?
This was close to noonish. This was after Chris rode
Okay.
Rise of the Resistance,
Okay.
so it took her about 30 minutes or so to get out of there,
Mhm.
uh, and so we were able to make there for a relatively on time lunch. Uh,
Mhm.
I like to eat later in the day, so
Mhm.
4:45 was going to be early no matter what.
Right.
The good news is we knocked out a couple of rides before we went to the
Okay.
Hollywood and Vine dinner.
Okay.
Uh,
What did you do?
Connor and I got that's where we did Star Tours.
Mhm.
Our Toy Story Mania was before the dinner,
Mhm.
and then we went to dinner. Is again just sort of timing of where stuff was, and we did
Mhm.
some shopping.
Yeah.
I it's my second favorite place to shop is the it's not it's not part of the main drag when you first go in, but
Mhm.
there's that store that kind of splits
Yes.
the pathway. One takes you off towards Sunset, and
Mhm.
the other to the left towards Galaxies. I love that store. I
Mhm.
love it a little less now. It used to be heavily Star Wars themed, which
Yes.
was why I liked it a lot. It still has kind of it
It has
has
some, but it's very Marvel-y now.
which I'm okay with because I'm a nerd. I'm a big Marvel nerd anyway.
Mhm.
So there's that. It's also starting to transition a bit more toward like you'll start to see more of the sort of
Yeah.
Disney stuff towards the back. Like the I feel like there's always a hoodie or a sweatshirt or something there that I like. So I do tend to enjoy that store.
I would love to hear a few words about your experience at Hollywood and Vine because it has been years since I've eaten there. I know that
Mhm.
they've gotten a lot of good feedback in the past couple of years of like improving the food. So, what was your assessment of both the food itself and just the experience?
As a guy who made two trips through the main buffet, I would say that I enjoyed the food quite a bit. I think, and this is going to be the Midwest me.
Mhm.
It's a lot of it's a lot of familiar foods.
Okay.
So it's a lot of milder flavors.
Mhm.
I'm not a spicy guy. Give me meat and potatoes with some gravy on there. Though they did
Mhm.
have a shrimp mac and cheese that I got a couple of servings of that I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
I would say where they're not the best, or again where the expectations don't quite. Their desserts are kind of just normal.
Okay.
Like you get ice cream, you get
Mhm.
some. I got some apple cobbler, I think, which was fine.
Mhm.
Should have put some ice cream on the apple cobbler. I missed that boat,
Mhm.
so maybe I'm not that Midwest, but it was for me. It's very much somebody who I was in the mood for something fancy. I like that the characters, you know, it's Mickey, Pluto, Goofy, and
Mhm.
Minnie because it's Minnie's party. That their costuming changes with the season, and it's currently they're currently dressed up like they're dressed up for the Oscars. So they're in
Oh,
sort
okay.
of fancier tuxedos. Pluto's got a special collar. Um, it was funny. Connor, who doesn't really get up for character interactions,
Mhm.
got up for a Mickey, getting pictures with Mickey, which I thought was great, and it is rare
Mhm.
for him to be like, "Yes, I'm going to jump up. I'm going to be the
Yeah.
14-year-old who takes the picture with
I
Mickey
love
Mouse,"
that. I
and he had
love
a great
that.
time. And yeah, it's just I wouldn't say it's anything that's going to knock your socks off, but
Mhm.
it's very solid, reliable
Mhm.
sorts of sides. You know, green beans, like I said, mashed potatoes, some mac and cheese. Nothing that's too exotic. You can get yourself five Caesar salads if you want there.
Mhm.
Connor goes nuts for peel and eat shrimp, and they've got that for days,
Mm.
and that sort of thing. But I don't. I definitely walked out of that thing stuffed and ready to wrap some rides.
Good. All right. So what happened after this dinner? And this was a dining package dinner. So that meant you were going to be able to go to Fantasmic if you wanted and have reserved seating.
We were, but the weather got in the way. And
Oh no.
unfortunately, yeah, Phantasmic around 7 o'clock or so. And we knew it was going to be close. I'd been kind of watching the weather ahead of time. This was like the one day where
Mhm.
there was some real chance at some rain and some tough weather. And at around 7 o'clock or so, they announced that Phantasmic was canceled.
Oh,
So we did not get to see Phantasmic this trip, which
okay.
was disappointing. But you can't. I of all the nighttime spectaculars they do, from what I understand, that is the one that is most impacted by bad weather.
Mhm.
So I would rather them again protect the safety of their performers
Right.
and everybody that's there, and we'll do without Phantasmic.
Mhm.
What it what it did mean is that it gave us a little bit more time to sort of take our time getting to rides. We finished out the trip over in Toy Story Land or we started in Toy Story Land where we got to do
Mhm.
Slinky Dog Dash at around 7:30 ish that night. Um, Again, seeing Toy Story Land and Hollywood Studios lit up in the dark while on a nice coaster. I think we both shared this
Mhm.
that we're not overly impressed by it. It's not the best coaster in the world.
It's
It's great.
fine.
It's a great first coaster.
Mhm.
Um, but we were able to do that. Hit another round of Toy Story Mania. Connor won again.
Mhm.
Um, I can't keep up with him anymore. It hurts my feelings. Uh, he was very proud to be like top person in the car.
Uh-huh. Oh,
You know,
wow.
I
That's
was.
impressive.
I know. Uh, he was. He then now he's
Never
starting to
come
tell me.
close.
Well, now he's wanting to eyeball like being the best person that hour the next time we ride. I'm like,
Oh.
all right, man, you're gonna have to start watching some videos on how to nail that.
Yeah.
But we wrapped up our night a little bit early, around 8 o'clock, I think, or so. We had our Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway,
Mhm.
Lightning Lane. Always a cute ride, always fun, and just was a nice little cap to a good Hollywood Studios day. And
Mhm.
we managed to get back before the rains came.
Good. Okay. So Monday, February 16th was a little bit of a mixed bag from what I wrote down. So
Yeah,
I wrote that it was going to be primarily a rest day for most everyone, except you, because you're part crazy, might go by yourself. But there was also a homecoming reservation in there and then also extended evening hours over at
right.
Epcot. So how did this actually shake out?
So we all slept in. Um, Clearly, we were tired from
Mhm.
couple of days hitting the parks. We actually didn't start doing anything, any of us, until we went to Disney Springs for
Mhm.
that homecoming reservation. It was a little too cool for the pool in the morning or anything like that. So just sort of hung about the room, relaxed. While I did a little lap around the resort while getting
Mhm.
breakfast and things like that, but nothing big. But it was all of our first experiences at Art Smith's homecoming, so
Mhm.
that sort of took center stage. I might have had a moonshine flight.
I have not had it myself, but, they're famous
It'll
for that.
it'll do it. It's now obviously it's not five full glasses of
Sure.
moonshine, but it is still five small. It's like
Mhm.
two and a half drinks, uh,
Mhm.
which it was really good. Some of them had, like there was one that was just sort of just tasted like a boring margarita.
Mhm.
I forgot to write down all the flavors. So, uh, but there was one. It was like a strawberry, almost like a strawberry lemonade tasting moonshine that I ordered to go because
Mhm.
it was nice to get in a to go container and enjoy it a
Mhm.
second time. It was very refreshing on a kind of a post humid evening.
Mhm.
Next morning in Florida was a little warmer that day, so it worked.
Okay. How did you feel about the food if this was all of your first times there?
I got the fried chicken and waffles
Mhm.
because when in Rome, and
Mhm.
they had the whole brunch menu, so that was my big. I was really excited. We had a hot honey like syrup
Ooh, yes.
on it. It was what's that?
I said, "Ooh, yes." Like, now
Oh,
you're
okay. I didn't know if you
talking.
said ooh gross or ooh
No,
yes.
talk to me more, Pat. Tell me more about this hot honey
Uh, it
sauce.
was because I've had other places have it go wrong. This was
Mhm.
very perfect. I just wish there was actually more of it
Mhm.
for the size of the plate that we got. But everybody talks about that fried chicken. Julie got a catfish sandwich because she loves fried catfish and finding something like that. She really liked it. She enjoyed it. Uh, but that hot honey sauce with the waffle and the fried
Mhm.
chicken was a home run win
Good.
for me. I really enjoyed it. Connor just got kind of like a standard waffle. He was
Mhm.
actually kind of boring. He was not his usual adventurous self. And I want to say I can't remember. Chris got kind of a standard breakfast too.
Mhm.
She's kind of what we would call a picky eater. a lot of standard stuff when it comes to ordering
Okay.
food. So homecoming is a good place for that, though.
Yeah. I mean, a good chicken and waffle, like, you cannot beat that. But I will also say there are places that do not hit a home run with chicken and waffle. Like, a bad chicken and waffle is bad.
Yeah,
It's like you can't get around that. And Homecoming is known for theirs, and it is delicious.
yeah. There's a reason for it, 100%.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Did you do anything else at Disney Springs while you were there?
we wandered the shops a little bit. We're really trying to not go souvenir crazy because every time we come home from a Disney trip, it's like, where did all this other stuff come from? I still have an
Right.
orange bird sipper from our first flower and garden festival that has not left the spot on the sink
Mhm.
where we put it after we got home. So trying to
Yeah.
monitor that, we definitely walk through World of Disney because
Mhm.
you can't not walk through the biggest Disney store in the world when you're there.
Mhm.
But we didn't really go out of our way to purchase anything. We split up for the afternoon, knowing that we were going to reconvene at Epcot later in the day.
Mhm.
And this is where Magic Kingdom came into play. But I actually got Julie and Connor that afternoon. I think it was around 2 o'clock or so. Just, hey, let's go to the park. I haven't seen Philhar Magic yet. Can we go see Philhar
Mhm.
Magic? And we did. And we were going to do Philhar
Nice.
Magic and the People Mover. Um, I love that show. I think it's one of the most underrated little shows that you can catch.
Mhm.
Watched it with all three of us there, and then we grabbed a relatively early-ish, even for us. It was like a 4:30 ish dinner at Skipper Canteen,
Mm.
um, and we were so full that that was a bad decision. Like we just. I also the first time we went there, I was really impressed by it. Like
Mhm.
we got the Brazilian cheese bread that
Mhm.
you should always get. It's not even a secret menu item anymore. Like the skipper told
No.
us, we have a secret menu item today. It's this cheese bread.
Right.
We're
An
like,
open
shocker, we're
secret.
gonna get the cheese bread. Uh, but I don't know if it just was where we were at that part of the day or if we're tired. But I got like a Connor got like a shrimp noodle bowl and just ate the shrimp
Mhm.
wasn't really down. I got like a fried rice dish.
Mhm.
Uh, none of us could really finish anything. It was a
Yeah.
poor choice for where we were in the day, uh,
Yeah.
and so we killed time until uh, it got closer to closing at Epcot. Like we wandered the parks a little bit, went back to the
Mhm.
resort, rested, then again caught the monorail to get over to Epcot, uh, and got there before close, met up over in the land pavilion,
Mhm.
and as we wasted a little bit of time, we decided, well, living with the land is always a proper way to kind of kill some time.
Mhm.
So we got on living with the land while we watched the Soarin' wait time go down. By the time we got off of living with the land, extended evening hours had started.
Mhm.
So Connor and I went and did Soarin', while
Mhm.
Chris and Julie met up and did living with the land a second time.
They were truly living with the land.
They very much so were. And from there, we were able to knock out Living with the Land. We did both Remy and Frozen.
Mhm.
And that was about what we could fit in at the time.
Mhm.
Because one of the things that I think is important to know about extended evening hours at Epcot is World Showcase.
Yes.
They don't give you the entire access to World Showcase. They actually block it at France and then they block it on the backside of Norway. So we did Remy first,
Mhm.
got a photo pass shot in front of the fountain at night. It looks really, really good. I can't wait
Mhm.
to send it to you. Um, but we were just like, oh, we'll go cut across. And you couldn't. So you had to go all the way down to where the stores are at the front of World Showcase, go all the way
Mhm.
across to Mexico. That really takes a lot of time.
It
And
does.
And I understand that it's, they're doing it to close up for the rest of the other parts of the park that aren't really being utilized during
Yeah.
that. But by the time we got all the way over there to Frozen,
Mhm.
extended evening hours were basically done because we did
Yeah.
Living with the Land, Soarin', and Soarin's a slow load, so that took a
Mhm.
little bit of time too. And yeah, so we got our three rides in. It was still nice. The park wasn't
Mhm.
busy at all. Got
Yeah.
to see the new animatronics in Frozen. They look great. They're
The
not
girls look good?
mostly. I will
Okay.
say that there's still much like with Tiana
Mhm.
when Tiana first started, there's still some kinks to work out. And at one point, I only noticed one of Anna's eyes was a little was she was a little twitchy. We'll say it that way. But the rest of them, they look great. It looks so
She
much
just
better
needs
than the
some
screens.
sleep. She's just
She probably did.
tired.
She was like, "It's really late." Uh, but those projected faces, and I understand at the
Yeah.
time the technology was great,
Mhm.
but seeing the Elsa doing her big scene and actually singing it
Yeah.
was cool. I thought it was really cool.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a really good use of your extended evening hours. If you are staying at a resort that gives you access to those extended evening hours, like it is in your benefit to prioritize that over daytime part time if you need to choose between the two. Some
Right.
people are crazy and like to do both, like you and me, but but I think it's well worth prioritizing it if you need to kind of make some choices there because you can get more stuff done than you could during the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did not have to wait at all for
Hmm.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Like it was good.
All right. So Tuesday, February 17th, you said that you might go to Port Orleans French Quarter for some breakfast beignets because there's no better way to kick your day off than with a beignet. And so I want to know, did that happen? And the Mardi Gras parade that I think we're trying to go to.
It did not because the timing of the Mardi Gras parade was too late. It was like at
Mm.
11 o'clock by the time,
Oh,
and
okay.
we had lunch reservations at Chef de France,
Hmm.
so we just ended up going to the Contempo Cafe. I took a look at the times and
Hmm.
just even the transportation bingo that you kind of had to play to get there.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like it was worth the risk.
Right.
And someday I'll get a beignet, much like Julie will once again someday ride Expedition Everest. I will someday get to try the
Okay.
famous Port Orleans beignets, but this day was not that day.
Okay. So Contempo Cafe for breakfast and then making your way over to Epcot. Now, I need to ask for a little bit of a spoiler alert just because I'm a little um I don't want to use the word concerned because I'm not concerned about this, but you really wanted to do the new test track and I did not hear that you got that done the night before. Did that happen this day?
It did
No?
not. It did
Okay.
not.
Ugh.
Uh, it was the. It just was the wait times. It
Yeah.
was the wait times, and then and we'll you'll hear about it when we get to uh, Connor and I's big day.
Mhm.
Uh, the lightning lanes were just gone. They were just always gone,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
so test track consistently sat with like a 100-minute wait time, and that just seemed.
Mm. It,
You talk
yeah.
about time to spend in a park, like that's
Right.
not. It's not how I want to do it.
Yeah.
When there's so many other things you can do that have no wait times, as we talked about with
Mhm.
Animal Kingdom, you have a whole world showcase you can walk around and enjoy
Right. Yeah. And
without
and
having to wait
Festival of
on
the
people.
Arts too.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I loved what I saw at Festival of the Arts.
Mhm.
So cool to see the different ways I cannot buy a $500 Maleficent painting, even though I really wanted to. But
Yes.
and I tried to take your advice and look for postcard editions,
Mhm.
and no, every
Mm.
every print I would look for a postcard, they would have like everything next to it and not the one I want.
Oh, that's too
So
bad.
it's okay. It's okay. There will
Mhm.
be another festival. It'll come back
Mhm. Yep.
someday.
Yep.
Today was
Someday.
just again. Today was not that day. So
Okay.
we made our peace, but we did make it to Chef de France.
Okay. How is Chefs de France?
I appreciate French food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would pick French food as my first stop.
Mm-hmm.
We did have probably the best escargot that we've had at Disney World, uh, which,
Hmm.
when your only basis of comparison is be our guest, probably wasn't that hard. But it was quite good.
mm-hmm.
Um, I really got I think we all went big. We went there because Chris really wanted to try the mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't disappoint. She was very very happy with it's like a 3 or 4 cheese mac and cheese. Like
Mm-hmm.
it looked very good, looked very rich. Uh, I got basic. I think I got like a seafood, just a standard seafood dish, like a swordfish
Mm-hmm.
or whatever was there. I really wasn't feeling very adventurous. Um, we got the baguette was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The French bread was amazing, but uh, it wasn't our vibe. My vibe would have been going more towards Mexico. I really actually like eating at Spice Road Table. We did a dinner
Hmm.
package there
Yeah.
once, and was surprised how much I really enjoyed that food.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but mission accomplished. We got a good lunch out of it,
Yeah.
and I was looking more forward towards the evening anyway,
Mm-hmm.
uh, for dinner with Julie, because this was our date night too.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I did write that here. Pat and
Yep.
Julie have a date night at Narcoossee's, and Chris was going to hang with Connor at Epcot for a little bit longer. So
Yep.
after Chefs de France, when did you part ways, and how did you move into the evening portion of your day?
We had an individual lightning lane for Guardians,
Mm-hmm.
so we rode that. Disco Inferno was the song, and I got
Uh-huh.
to tell you, not no,
Not your
I
song.
don't like it at all. Give me
Okay.
one way or another,
Mm-hmm.
or and I love Everybody Like Wants to Rule the World,
Yes.
that by Tears for Fears. Did not get either of those this trip,
Okay.
but that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we walked the World Showcase. We looked at shops. Connor
Mm.
looked at found an adorable Chippendale Canada pin of the
Uh-huh.
two of them like playing hockey in a face off
Oh,
that
fun.
he went crazy for. So he kept an eye on it because he knew Aunt Chris had a gift card in store for him when we did part ways.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up parting ways. Their dinner reservation was at around, let's say, 5:36 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So
At Via
they
Napoli, right?
at Via Napoli, and so
Mm-hmm.
they went there to get pizza. Connor liked it so much that he actually ate his leftovers this time.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was a nice bonus. And then Julie and I actually made a change in plans. We actually canceled Narcoossee's,
Oh, you
and
know I love it. I love a pivot. Can't wait to hear what this is.
we decided to lounge hop instead and hit a few
Fun.
different lounges here and there. So Julie's favorite ride in all of Disney World is the Skyliner,
Okay.
and this so much so that when I didn't tell this one, we actually we went to Magic Kingdom to take a bus. Or no, we took a bus. We took the Hollywood Studio bus at the
Mm-hmm.
Contemporary just so that we could ride the Skyliner to go into Epcot
To
via
arrive
World
at Epcot.
Showcase.
Wow, that's dedication.
Then, yes, and as we're sitting on the Skyliner, I finally looked at her, I was like, "You did this just to ride the Skyliner, didn't you?" She's like, "Maybe." Well, then we turned around. Since we wanted to lounge hop, we went. We took the Skyliner again. We went to the Riviera and we hit Bar Riva.
Mm.
Grabbed a cocktail there,
Mm-hmm.
and it is eluding me. I just got an old fashioned at that point. Um, I can't remember what we got as an appetizer there, but we uh, grabbed an appetizer there. We then took the Skyliner back to Hollywood Studios, and then went back to the resort, changed clothes, kind of zhuzhed up a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
do a little bit of a monorail hop, and
Okay.
we went to Trader Sam's Terrace,
Okay.
which and by the
Much
time that we
easier to get to than inside the
right
actual
right
tiki room.
and also underrated. So unless you're really looking for the tiki room experience, I would
Mm-hmm.
highly recommend doing that lounge. We got some pot stickers there.
Mm.
we got a cup. I have to get something that some sort of rum and pineapple drink while you're sitting there. And there was a gentleman on the stage playing the ukulele
Mhm.
when we arrived. And right as we were finishing, my favorite nighttime electrical water pageant was starting.
Yes. I love this for
So
you.
I hate it for me. Uh, I we glanced at it. I was like, "Oh, look, there it is." And then we made our way to the monorail. We toyed with going to the Grand Flow, but we ended up going back to Steakhouse 71 for a nightcap,
Oh,
where
okay.
we split a Steakhouse 71 burger
Okay.
and had cocktails. And where I was like, "This is a very nice smash burger,
Yeah.
but it is not on par with the Wailulu Wayfinder
Right.
burger."
Okay.
And so I stand by my initial uh, assessment. But the timing from when we got on the monorail at Poly to Contemporary, we drove by Magic Kingdom. Fireworks were going off along the
Oh,
way, and
love
so
that.
we got to see the
Mhm.
fireworks going off as we passed by Magic Kingdom and getting into the Contemporary. So that was kind of a nice bonus
Mhm.
to be able to see that as you go by. Uh,
Mhm.
and it was a nice little nightcap, and
Yeah.
that was that day.
Yeah, and it put you exactly where you needed to be to hit the hay to be ready for the following day, which was Wednesday, February 18th. It was a Magic Kingdom day. And you had, well, Julie and Chris had reservations for Crystal Palace because Chris is a big Winnie the
Right.
Pooh fan. Did they make it to their reservation?
They did. It
Mm-hmm.
was the longest dinner or breakfast experience that, according to Julie, she's ever experienced.
Okay.
Uh,
It's a
well,
buffet.
and
So
it
did she
seemed
do that to herself?
well. No, it was the characters. So
Oh,
something
okay.
something was off with the timing of the characters, and
Okay.
of course, Chris's favorite character is Tigger.
Okay.
Tigger. They did not see Tigger for like an hour and a half
Oh, my word.
or something. And I don't know where things fell off. But I laughed at this because they went to Magic Kingdom to Crystal Palace for breakfast. Connor and I also went to Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to stop. I was able to stop at Sleepy Hollow
Mm-hmm.
and get a waffle with Nutella and fruit.
Mm-hmm.
The
Did you get a
waffles too.
side of Nutella to go with it?
I did not because I like Nutella. I don't love Nutella.
Oh, see, I
Uh,
love Nutella.
and I am disappointed that the waffle is not as easily foldable to make the waffle taco, but that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'll get over it. I had time to go there, get that cup of coffee, eat that, enjoy my cup of coffee, walk over to Gaston's,
Uh-huh.
get wait in line in Gaston's forever to get a
Uh-huh.
cinnamon roll for
Okay.
Connor. He ate all of that, and then we made our way over to possibly ride the Jungle Cruise before Julie and Chris got out of their breakfast.
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. So once they got out of their breakfast, what time was it when you all joined back up?
We didn't. Connor went back to the
Oh,
resort because he wanted to
okay.
chill.
Okay.
I went to Hollywood Studios, and Chris and Julie spent time together in Magic Kingdom. She took Chris
Okay.
to some of the attractions she hasn't really seen or ridden. They went and
Uh-huh.
did Philhar Magic again.
Okay.
Uh, they did the People Mover, as one
Mm-hmm.
should.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can't remember if that was. Oh, and Chris had never seen the Enchanted Tiki Room before, so Julie took her to the Enchanted Tiki Room, which I love in all of its kitschiness. Julie enjoys in all its kitschiness. I'm not sure how Chris reacted to it, but yeah, they did make sure to do it, and they got Chris uses a scooter sometimes to get around, so they got the scooter seats. She did say the one thing she didn't love is that angle with the scooter seats for the tiki room is really tough because you're kind of looking straight up, and
Yeah.
so she wasn't a big fan of that. Um, and then yeah, while they were doing that, Connor was like, "Look, I just want to hang out till evening hours in Magic Kingdom. So I'm, you've fed me. We've had enough. I have leftovers for lunch. I'm gonna go hang out. I don't want to go to Hollywood Studios with you."
Mhm.
So I soloed it to Hollywood Studios.
Fair enough. Teenagers need their time to teen.
He did admit that he did not bring the right devices to kill time, and even just wandering to be about the resort wasn't really enough. He didn't like how he still felt it was too cold for pool time, so he didn't do
Mhm.
anything with that. But I managed to run into something kind of cool while over at Hollywood Studios. I wanted to ride Tower of Terror because I don't usually get to do that one unless I do it myself.
Mhm.
And so the first thing that kind of went my way is uh, some folks know this person, some folks don't. There's a member named TJ
Mhm.
who's relatively known. He was our person in the hotel room before
Fun.
we hopped on the elevator. I got a selfie with TJ
Mhm.
before I left. As I was exiting Tower of Terror, though, to my left, I noticed these doors were open and they had characters that were out there, kind of the similar what they do at Epcot with characters in training. And so
Wait,
I
was
was
this
a
in the courtyard area, like near the Joffreys? Those like there's like a
yeah,
gate type of
yeah,
thing?
that gate
Okay.
was open
Okay.
and there was this little lined sidewalk area and inside there was there was Penguin from Mary Poppins, one of the penguins from Mary
Uh-huh.
Poppins, um, Baloo the bear,
Okay.
a Tigger,
Uh-huh.
and who's the fourth one? Camera. The fourth one was it was one of the country bears.
Mhm.
I can't. They all scare me a little bit. I don't like their faces. Um, they're a little strange
There's
to me.
only
So
one that scares me
it was
by
that
the
one.
way it's you know which one I'm talking about, right? I don't
I'm
know his
sure
name, but
he's got
there's
the hat.
one where I'm just like,
Yeah, it
no,
was not. It was
what's
definitely not Big Al. That's what I
no,
remember. It's
Big
like it
L's
was.
fine. He's
Yeah, it was
fine.
not Big Al, but no. So I took advantage of being able to go over there, and it's not like a photo pass thing. Like there's cast members.
Mhm.
These are characters in training, and so they're. It was only for like 10 minutes. It was just one of those things they just sort of walked into, and I got a picture with Baloo. And how
Cool.
often do you get to say you get a picture with Baloo? And then I took a
Mhm.
picture with Tigger just to send it to Christine and be like, it took me 5 minutes to get a picture with Tigger, where it took you like an hour and a half.
What are you talking about?
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's totally easy to
Uh,
get a picture with Tigger. I never even heard of
right.
it. And so then I went and checked out the villain show after that because I was right
Mhm.
there.
Okay, who
And
won?
uh, Captain Hook.
Okay. You are the
Now,
first
but
person I'm interviewing, I believe, that has told me you witnessed Captain Hook winning
yes, and it was
personally.
very strange
Mhm.
because clearly during the performance part where they all did their song,
Yeah.
Cruella DeVille was easily the most popular, which me and all my Maleficent gear was
Uh-huh.
not happy with as a fan. I'm sitting there pouting.
Mhm.
But then when it came to like the applause part, Captain Hook, like people went nuts. And so Captain
Hmm.
Hook was my villain show winner.
Okay. So they truly based it on their applause.
I would assume so because I would
Okay.
not have picked Captain Hook to win initially. And
Okay.
it wasn't until they did the whole like they highlight all
Yeah.
three of them
Uh-huh.
individually that Captain Hook got declared the winner.
Okay. So I'm on a mission. Like I know they all three can win. I understand that that part of my mystery is figured out. Now, if you can recall, what order was Captain Hook? Was he 1, 2, or 3 to do his song?
Second.
Okay.
So it was Cruella, Hook, Maleficent
Okay.
in that
So
order.
that's the same order I saw it when Maleficent won. To me, when I saw it, Maleficent was clearly the best, but it also felt like her song had a little bit more oomph to it. And so I've had this running theory that perhaps they don't always go in the same order, which what you're telling me is they probably do go in the same order every time. And then I also had this theory that perhaps they had like sort of like a winner and a loser version of their song where maybe like a better version of their song to like encourage them to win that round.
I'm willing to buy
Um
that.
yeah, that's my theory.
I'm absolutely willing to buy that second theory because Cruella's song and her
Mhm.
performance was so energetic.
Mhm.
was incredibly energetic.
Mhm.
When I looked at it or compared it to the other two, and not that the other two were particularly bad, but I
Mhm.
did find Maleficence to kind of be a little like
Mm.
I could see why she wouldn't win
Yeah, and
based
that's
on
how
what
I
she's
felt
shown.
about Cruella and how I felt about Captain Hook when I saw it. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
Maleficent had like the best version of her song. She had the best opportunity to win.
right, and that's what it felt like with Corella too. She really
Mhm.
was playing it hard, and again, Hook was fine, but
Mhm.
I was like, oh, Corella Deville's winning this thing easily,
Yeah.
and didn't have it.
But then it sounds like so maybe or maybe not my theory is correct. Who knows? But it does sound to me like regardless of whether my theory is correct, that they will truly pick the winner based on how much you cheer for whichever person.
It seemed like
Okay. All right, we're getting closer to answers, people. Like
it.
I'm going to have to try to find a cast member to make friends with so I can find out whether there are different versions of their songs. Ugh, all right, what else did you do while you were there?
That was it. Because I wanted to make sure that we got back in time. Hadn't had dinner. Julie and I decided to do Steakhouse 71 for dinner. Connor
Mhm.
just wanted to, or again, he was kind of he was an introvert that
Okay.
day. He was very much staying in, and so I think we grabbed him just something simple from Contempo, uh, and this
Mhm.
was my opportunity for a steak. So I got myself a New York strip at Steakhouse 71. Julie enjoyed some
Mhm.
chicken, and it was a lovely dinner. Uh, Not necessarily a priority dinner I would do again, but it's nice to
Mhm.
have there. Before we then met up with Chris uh, for a really late night because the park closed at 11
Oh,
that
so
evening.
extended
It
evening
was
hours was really
Yeah,
late.
it was an 11. We didn't make it. We made it to extended evening hours. We didn't make it to 1 o'clock.
Okay.
It was just too much. And knowing what was in store the next day for Connor and
Mhm.
I didn't want to try to do that at all. So
Mhm.
we made it to about midnight
Mhm.
before we headed out.
What did you
I
do
think
within that hour?
we made sure we did get to the park before it closed, and we were amongst the last groups to ride Jungle Cruise,
Okay.
which was kind of interesting because I think we were the next to last boat, but the other two
Mhm.
boats, like as we were pulling up, we got to watch them like put the boats away,
Mhm.
which sounds silly, but they and our skipper was like, they're driving off into the volcano, wave goodbye as they plunge to their doom. I mean, they're fine. Like it was cute,
Mhm.
but it was also just sort of one of those things you don't get to see
Right.
necessarily unless you're amongst the last. And
Mhm.
then we of course couldn't avoid Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion was once again ridden,
Mhm.
and then we were making our way over to do Seven Dwarves. But even for an extended evening hour night, the line was still outside of the entrance of Seven
Oh.
Dwarves, and that just did not
Mm.
feel like a productive use of time. It had already been about an hour.
Mhm.
Julie and Chris went and did the Winnie the Pooh dark ride
Mhm.
because that one wasn't too bad. And Connor and I were like, "Look, we got an early morning tomorrow. Maybe we just call it because we
Mhm.
know we're gonna be all out tomorrow." And
Right.
so we went
Yeah.
back and we crashed, and they
Makes
came
sense.
back shortly thereafter.
Okay. So this next day, you've been teasing it. Thursday, February 19th was a big day because you were celebrating Connor's belated birthday and you two were going to be doing your 4 park challenge. And I wrote down that the rules that you had established for yourselves were 2 attractions, 1 park specific snack, 1 icon photo, 1 photo pass photo you've never done before, plus taking a different mode of transportation between each park each time. So that's a lot of parameters you've set. How'd you do?
Yep, we did it.
Good.
We did every single one of them. 30 some thousand steps later,
Wow.
uh, we did. I wrote them all down. A couple. I mean, we did a couple of things to set ourselves up for success.
Mm-hmm.
We did do Lightning Lane multipass, and we definitely took
Mm-hmm.
advantage of that. Started in Animal Kingdom because there's no other way to get to Animal Kingdom other than bus, and there's
Right.
no way to get to anywhere else other than bus. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to start there. We got to Animal Kingdom a little bit before 8 a.m. Did our picture in front of the Tree of Life right away because the lines were shorter. It was a lot easier. We had an unnecessary but necessary 8 a.m. Lightning Lane reservation. And the reason why it was necessary is because the second you hit that first one, you can book your next one.
Right.
Which we went to Zootopia, Better Together, celebrated
Uh-huh.
Together Day. Uh, this might be a hot take. I prefer A Bug's Life,
Oh,
and
okay.
I hate to agree with influencers, but one of the things that I feel like is missing from the Zootopia show, which is very, very cute, the Clawhauser animatronic is wonderful, but there's no like the edutainment part of
Mm-hmm.
of It's Tough to Be a Bug was kind of
Mm-hmm.
nice, and I'm older, so I wasn't really scared. I didn't feel weird about the moving seats or anything like that,
Yeah.
and they still use all of that technology in the attraction now. But it just felt like
Mm-hmm.
there was something missing. It really did feel like this 8 minute video that was cute and fun, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing about it really made me want to be like, yes, I must come back. You know,
Yeah.
and so it's cute, it's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually liked It's Tough to Be a Bug better.
Okay. I have not yet tried the Zootopia experience, so I'll be looking forward to compare for myself.
Sounds fair.
Um, but yeah, you got to try it at least once. I say.
Oh, absolutely. We then made our way over to Expedition Everest.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my ride on Expedition Everest taken care of. But and that was fun. We got ourselves a tiger tail pastry and a
Oh
Joffrey's
yes.
coffee from the Joffrey's location.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, we were making our way to Pandora because we surprisingly enough, we haven't done a lot of the Pandora photo spots.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but along the way, we happened upon a photopass photographer over one of the small bridges where the barges used to come under,
Uh-huh.
and we've never really stopped there. So I think we were in which I think we were still in Asia, but yeah, we got a
Mm-hmm.
nice little picture on the short bridge, which then allowed us to hit all of our goals for Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the only way you can go is by bus. We were not in time. We were too early for the bus to bus or park to park bus. So we
Mm-hmm.
did have to go to Kidani Village to catch a bus to Hollywood Studios.
Okay. All right. I feel like we can bend that rule that you took a bus
Right.
to a resort and then hopped on a second bus.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. Judges have ruled. Um, and then this is where things got interesting because I was trying to use a lighting lane. I've talked about how busy the crowds were,
Mm-hmm.
and there was nothing really available for Hollywood Studios after I'd done the Zootopia selection, and so I made the bold and unpopular decision to move on to Epcot. And because he
Mm.
loves it and I love him, I booked an unnecessary lightning lane for Mission Space Orange
Oh God.
for later in the afternoon around 1:30 or so. And then after I'd done Everest, I had booked a Tower of Terror lightning lane, but it was for like 8 o'clock at night. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, I'm just gonna keep trying to reschedule it and see what
Yeah.
happens. And when
Yeah.
we got to Hollywood Studios, I got lucky and managed to get a 12 p.m. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And so we were able to book that. We got to Hollywood Studios at around a little bit before 10, maybe 10 ish.
Mm-hmm.
So I proposed, let's go get our snack first and then see what wait times are for another ride until noon. We can do Mickey Minis. And I was like, I have a very specific park icon. I've never gotten the Tower of Terror photo before. So
Oh.
so that was one of the park icon photos we were going to do. So we placed an order at the popcorn stand in Galaxy's Edge and got the savory popcorn, the sweet and savory popcorn that they sell at Galaxy's Edge. And
Mm-hmm.
then for the first time ever, we tried blue and green milk. And
Okay.
for the last time ever, we tried blue and green milk. Um,
I tried I think it was the green I tried for the first time when I was there for my down and back trip in December. I don't think I've tried the blue yet at all. So,
well, the blue's staying, and green is allegedly going in the future at some
mm.
point. From what I've heard, they've got a pink milk they're going to bring along.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually liked the green milk better than the
Mhm.
blue milk, but the texture of it, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And the blue one tasted like a weird. It felt like I was drinking my Fruit Loops milk or something a little bit, like
Oh, maybe that's the one I had then. I think I had the blue because what
because
I did taste a little bit like cereal.
yes.
Yeah.
And neither of us are like, it didn't really work for us. We were
Mhm.
like, we're glad we tried this. We will never
Yeah.
drink it again.
Yeah.
Um, and so after we did that, we then did the Millennium Falcon zoom shot.
Okay.
That
Mhm.
was our photo pass shot there. And I was like, let's just see what wait times are for stuff because it was still like 10:45, so we still
Mhm.
have an hour plus before
Yeah.
Mickey Mini. I was like, let's just pick something that'll be exciting for us to do, even if we have to wait in line for a bit.
Mhm.
And that's how we landed on going back to Tower of Terror. And
Okay.
so we made our way to Tower of Terror. We stopped for the suitcase icon photo right there in front of the tower.
Mhm.
And then this is another moment where things kind of worked out for us in our favor. The wait time, I've always been impressed with towers like wait time. It goes faster than what's posted.
Mhm.
We had got through everything in the pre show in about 45 minutes on a 65-minute wait time
Mhm.
when suddenly two of the elevators went down.
Oh no.
And so it slowed us down, but we got to ride it. When we
Uh-huh.
got off the ride, the wait time had ballooned to 120 minutes, and they were basically telling people, we don't think it's going to open up again.
Oh, okay.
And so it worked out.
Mm.
And
Okay.
so once we got done with that, that put us closer to that noontime swipe in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, nailed it, and we hopped on a Skyliner to get over to Epcot.
Okay. What did you do in Epcot?
Epcot, ugh. So our first challenge was finding a good photo pass spot because Connor really, I was like, let's find a World Showcase location and
Mhm.
do a photo pass there. What country would you like to do? Let's see if there's anybody in Canada. There was
Mhm.
nobody in Canada. It was mildly disappointing, but uh, we ended up backtracking a little bit and got um, a photo over in where was it? Over in the America Pavilion, or in that area. I can't remember which country
Mhm.
it was, but somewhere around there. We did find someone in World Showcase. He was just really excited about Canada. Canada is now his favorite country because it's a Chippendale store. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
tops in his book.
Mhm.
Uh, and then it was like, okay, let's go do Mission Space. So we did Mission Space Orange at about 1:15 or so.
Mhm.
We then almost back to back, and this nearly killed me, Virginia.
Okay.
We did Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh, right after Mission
right?
Space Orange?
Shortly after Mission Space.
Whew.
Um, and that's the first time I was like, I might be getting a little too old for this. Because I was glad I had not eaten before
Uh-huh.
the trip. Because then we went to Space 220
Mhm.
to kind of have like a sit down kind of lunch, where
Mhm.
we just had apps, um, and like I got some fries. He got some calamari because he loved it. But I was
Mhm.
looking at the I had gotten the pork belly, which I thought was a good idea, and I just kept staring at it for a minute. It was like, I don't know if I can make this happen.
Why did I do
Uh,
this to myself?
why did I do this to myself?
Yeah.
Um, but by about 4 o'clock, I had finally we had eaten that. I may have consumed a smoked old fashioned up there and
Mhm.
settled myself down a little bit. And then we hopped the monorail to get to the transportation and ticketing center. And then I was like, well, we haven't taken a boat anywhere yet. So instead of
Mhm.
taking the monorail the rest of the way in, we took the ferry boat from
Okay.
the TTC into
Mhm.
Magic Kingdom. And I'm sure you can guess at least one of the two rides that we rode at Magic Kingdom.
Tron.
Tron, that's correct, because
Uh-huh.
we had a lightning lane for that evening. Can you guess the other one?
People Mover?
No, it's Connor's favorite
Oh,
ride.
Connor's favorite. Oh, Haunted Mansion.
We did the Haunted
Yeah.
Mansion for the
Yeah.
that was the third Haunted Mansion ride. And then we met up with Julie for snack and drinks at the Beacon Barrel,
Okay,
uh,
fun.
which I thought was cool. I love these new sort of immersive lounges they're doing.
Mhm.
Gave me very much Haunted Mansion Parlor off the Disney Treasure vibes,
Mhm.
where the just sort of they're the cast members are lively and active.
Yeah.
The drinks were fine. I tried the cornbread pork uh, bite that they had there.
Oh, I had that when Jeanette and I went, and we got the vegetarian version of whatever that was, I
Right.
think.
It was good.
Yeah.
Um,
I
it was a
liked it.
nice little light.
It was
I
nice.
the only thing I don't love, and I understand why they have to do it, is the
Mhm.
timekeeper. Uh,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're not joking about that 45 minutes. We were literally wrapping up our drinks, and this guy's like, "I hate to be the party pooper." Like
Mhm.
we gotta go.
Yeah.
So
I don't
um,
think I could ever, I mean, never say never, but, I do like to drink. I like to drink quite a lot, but I don't drink that often. I just doesn't fit into my life and, the things that I'm doing on a regular basis. So it's more like to say I think you can have up to 2 drinks and you have 45 minutes.
yeah, you can
There's
speed
no
drink that
way
stuff.
I would have to be sitting there like drinking the entire time. I do not consume an alcoholic beverage that quickly. I just
Yeah,
don't. I mean, it saves me money, I guess, but
sure. So Tron was actually after Beacon Barrel. Connor and I did Tron.
Mhm.
Connor and Julie went back to the resort. It's the last night. I watched Happily Ever After on Main Street like
Mhm.
any Disney adult should.
Mhm.
But then went back to the room right after that because again we had an early morning to catch a cruise ship.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at least you were right there, so you could very
Right.
easily get back over to Bay Lake Tower. So, Friday, February 20th, you said goodbye to Chris at some point, and you were taking Disney Cruise Line transportation. What time did they pick you up?
They picked us up, I want to say it was around 9ish. It was around 9 o'clock or so because it's about an hour and a half. And so once there were a lot of people there. So the way it works is there's somebody from Disney Cruise Line that's waiting to sort of go through a list, check everybody. They take your bags. Guest services actually takes your bags from the room and
Mhm.
gets them ready to be put on the bus. You don't even see them
Mhm.
once they pick them up. But once everybody got loaded up on the bus, it was probably we were probably on the road at around 9:30 or so, I want to say, and it
Mhm.
took about an hour and a half to get there. But we were the first port to arrive, our first bus to arrive at port for our ship, which was kind of neat to walk into an empty
Mhm.
lobby area while you waited for permission to board the ship.
Mhm.
And we had an early boarding group, so it's very very smooth. I highly recommend using the Disney transportation if you're staying on property, and I
Mhm.
think a lot of people take advantage of it. It's very for me it's very worry free in
Mhm.
terms of just making sure you get there on time. You're not going to miss a thing,
Mhm.
and so we did that.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't really know what order I'm gonna release these. I'm going to assume that everybody will have heard Donna's episode by now. She is a guest that I have recently spoken with, who's from Australia. Shout out to Donna. And she had like not as great an experience with the Disney Cruise Line transportation.
Hmm.
Um, and So it's interesting to me, like, that experience compared to now, your glowing experience about it. Um, I think that for the most part, they do a great job. It just it seems like maybe they've had an off moment recently. Maybe it's more hit and miss. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good experience with it and that it was smooth and everything.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I have no complaints. We've done it twice now.
Mhm.
I will say when we did it the previous trip, it was literally just myself, Julie, and Kelly's family. Like our
Mhm.
families were on that trip together. We were the only people at Saratoga Springs. The gentleman that had to go through and do the check-in, there were a lot of folks. Like
Mhm.
the Contemporary, definitely a popular place to stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out well, and we were off on the Disney Fantasy. We were on board of the ship by like noon, 12:15. We were
Mhm.
we were amongst one of the earlier boarding groups,
Mhm.
so we were able to get on there, explore, uh, able to grab lunch at one of the restaurants ahead of time,
Mhm.
sort of take our time before our staterooms were ready. Um, it was a good time. It was a
Did
good
you
day.
get a chance to see the teen area on this day when maybe you would have been allowed to go into the teen area or the club or
Oh my
whatever?
goodness. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, Vibe and Edge are the two teen tween clubs.
Mhm.
And I think we may have talked about this the last time I was on the show. The Connor was not overly impressed with the teen spaces on the treasure.
Right.
He was
But he was
blown
looking
away.
forward to this.
Yes. And it didn't disappoint. The and I'll even echo it.
Mhm.
Miles better than what I saw in the treasure. It
Mhm.
had first the space just looked cooler, if that's an easy way to describe it. Like just the look and the furniture, even the vibe, like the
Mhm.
hallway to walk into the space, like lit up and changed different colors, like you were
Ooh.
going someplace special.
Yeah. Okay.
And it had this lounge area with like a bar that looked like a smoothie bar at one point, but I'm not sure how they used it. I wasn't allowed to see how it actually was used.
Hmm.
But it just lots of space, lots of room for people to hang out and chill. And then it opened into a Vibe and Edge exclusive pool deck for those
Oh.
kids.
Wow.
And yeah, and he couldn't stop talking about how great the space looked. He texted one of his friends about it because he still could
Mhm.
before the ship took off and we were like, turn your cellular data off.
Mhm.
He was very excited about it, and I was very
Mhm.
excited for him for it because it's far beyond like strongly I'm going to get the wrong class, but the Dream and Fantasy ships I think are the
Mhm.
two that are the sister ships. Their spaces are for teens in particular are phenomenal, and because Connor was 14, he
Mhm.
actually qualified for both Vibe and Edge because Vibe is the entry age and
Mhm.
the exit age for them. So he got to register for both. So he could use both spaces if one was open and the other wasn't, and vice versa.
Mhm. Cool.
So
So,
it's
uh,
nice.
overall, for the portion of time that you were on the ship, was he there often?
Well, yes and no. He was there early, and then he got too much sun at beach time and became ill,
Oh,
and
okay.
so he had about a cabin day or so where he didn't feel up to it.
Mhm.
Um, but he did take advantage of the space. He definitely
Okay.
up until day 3 of the trip um, was able to take advantage.
Cruises are sometimes like a little bit more challenging to talk about just because there's not quite as much structure to your day. So,
Sure,
I would invite you to, as we go through what you liked and maybe didn't like about the ship and everything, to kind of think about it in sections as opposed to trying to think about it like on a day-to-day basis. So like if you want to talk about like all the restaurant experiences, and then I know you had 2 stops, one at the Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point Island and also another one at Castaway Key. So we can kind of talk about it that way as opposed to
Yeah.
maybe necessarily going through like an hour by hour, day by day thing, just because cruises just are they're different than the park experience. So where do you want to kick it off?
So I'll talk about the dining experiences first because we did do a couple of those, and I'll really just kind of, if it works better, I can just sort of give you some of the big highlights of what I really appreciated about this cruise
Mhm.
that were a little bit different from our previous one. And the first thing is that Julie and I both made it. We had a couple of dining reservation nights, or not nights. One was a night, one was a brunch at Paolo. We did the Prima Notte, which is the first night experience, which is this nice, small, intimate gathering up at Paolo. We shared a table with a very nice couple that the whole experience was with the sommelier of the ship doing bites and wine pairings in a basically a 5 course appetizer experience. So
Mhm.
it's not a full on dinner. It's not. I would actually advise people that if you're going to do that experience, to probably plan to do dinner at your rotation if you can, or go to maybe O'Gill's where they have some other bites, because it's not going to be a full dinner experience. Um, it was great. It's still a nice, lovely hour and 15 minute uh, evening uh,
Mhm.
where it feels very exclusive. There's there were maybe 20 people tops in the space.
Mhm.
It felt very romantic, even though we were sharing a table with a couple of strangers who we quickly got to talk to. Remy, Michelle, if you're listening, hi.
Mhm.
Um, that was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And then you got to see those people elsewhere on the ship, and it was like, oh my gosh, hey, look, there you are. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And so we did that, and then immediately the next morning we had done Apollo brunch, where, my goodness, that was like the opposite experience, where it was just so much food. It was amazing food.
Mm.
But when I tell you, we had pizza, we had, like, Julie had like a baked chicken. I
Mhm.
had um like, we both had appetizers, we had desserts. I was the only one who could eat a dessert. I had a limoncello cake to die for.
Mhm.
That was just, I was amazed by it. You get your first drink is a complimentary drink when you're there, like a nice little. I think we just had some prosecco with our breakfast. You could get a mimosa, uh, and we were on this level where the windows were facing the deck of the ship, and it was just like you're eating along the ocean for breakfast.
Uh-huh.
And we were there for 2 hours. It was, and they don't rush you. The wait staff, they just keep coming and checking on you, seeing how you are and where you are in your meal. And when you're done, you're done.
Mhm.
It was phenomenal. I highly recommend doing Paulo brunch. Please.
I hear such good things about Palo in general, so that will definitely be on my Disney Cruise Line bucket list of
What
things I
one
have
thousand
to check
percent.
off.
We've done it 3 times now. It's been absolutely worth it. The other big highlight that I think was unique about this cruise, that's different from other ones, is this had a Pixar day at sea. And it was the second day of the cruise, where everything on the ship is just themed to Pixar.
Mhm.
From over the ship announcements, like where the captain would make announcements, it would be Pixar characters just talking into the announcement PA
Mhm.
system. They had a very fun, cute Pixar themed pool deck show where, I mean, they had Bullseye from Toy Story. Like, we're not talking just like Woody and Buzz Lightyear, um, sort of the typical characters you would expect.
Uh-huh.
Bullseye, the horse,
Wow.
was there.
Wow. Yeah.
The character meet and greets that they had for like they had the characters you would expect that you would know from Pixar movies like Sully and Mike, Buzz, Woody, Jesse, but you could
Mhm.
meet Remy, which is one of those things like I don't know of any place or any opportunity where you could character meet Remy
Mhm.
at a park or elsewhere. Merida was one of the princesses that was part of the cruise and is a Pixar character. She was there, and it was neat. Like I'm not a big Pixar guy, and
Mhm.
so we probably didn't embrace it as strongly as some other folks did. But they
Mhm.
had Pixar themed treats just for that day.
Mhm.
The characters galore. Every activity was themed around Pixar in
Mhm.
some way, shape, or form. It was cute. It was neat. And if you have a child who is into those
Mhm.
characters in those movies, like it's a great if you can find a Pixar Day at Sea cruise, it's one that I think is worth booking.
Ooh, I love the idea of that, and I am a Marvel fan, probably not as much as many other people, but I do appreciate Marvel. I know they do the Marvel Day at Sea, um, and I know that they've had some other sorts of days at sea. This is by far the one I think I'd be the most interested in.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot of sense for people who grew up on these movies
Mhm.
and or just I say grew up on like the first Pixar movie came out when I was like 20. So, um, but but those characters are iconic characters, so to have a day like that,
Yeah.
that's really fun. Um, as I kind of run through some of the other big highlight for me personally and for Julie was we did when we went to Lookout Key, which was our
Mhm.
first port. And actually, at the end of the day, turned out to be our only port because weather canceled
Mm.
Castaway Key. So we are now 0 for 2 on our
Oh.
Castaway Key glass bottom boat experience. We have still not done this. So someday, Virginia, I'm going to come on this podcast. I'm going to tell you all about riding on a glass bottom boat.
And I
But
cannot
it
wait for that day.
but it will not be that day. But Julie and I signed up for Connor wasn't interested in doing it. He was very excited about having a beach day, which would
Mhm.
come back to bite him because he got too excited. But we did a conservation walk of Lookout Key,
Mhm.
and we had a wonderful tour guide, a guy by the name of Andy, who basically took us along this beach trail that it's not backstage or anything
Mhm.
like that. Like folks could walk these trails, they just don't. Most of them go to the beach, but it
Mhm.
had a ton of just beautiful scenic points. We got to see some of the wildlife. I will never forget the curly-tailed lizard that I took way too many pictures of because I couldn't.
Mhm.
I was like, I can't believe that tail is real. It's like this little spiral that is there. To actually the lighthouse that is part of the Lighthouse Point name.
Mhm.
Uh, it was a nice hour and a half, 2 mile walking tour of the island that Julie and I enjoyed while Connor enjoyed his beach day.
Okay.
Uh, and then Connor enjoyed his beach day a little too hard, and
Yeah.
we he got to learn why it's important. And I'm public service, everyone. The
Mhm.
sun in the Bahamas is no joke,
Mhm.
and Connor is fine, but the sunburn he earned
Yikes.
because we got too caught up in the moment of being in the ocean and
Mhm.
not listening. It took him out of commission for a day. But
Mhm.
this is the other thing that I really want to highlight about this trip is the cast again was so great for us and our families. So normally when you do a cruise with Disney, you're part of a rotational dining group
Mhm.
and you have this schedule on the Disney Cruise Line app. Uh, but your wait staff is always the same people
Mhm.
at each of the dining rooms that you go to, and so they get to know you, they get to understand you. Our server was a man named Jose. He was from Peru. He gave us very lovely little handmade woven llama keychains on our last day as a thank you for being with him. But I went to dinner by myself the first night because Connor was feeling terrible. So Julie stayed with him grabbed him some pizza, and we started hydrating like crazy to make
Mm-hmm.
sure things didn't get too out of hand. But both the staff, Jose, and the second server, Joseph, noticed that Connor was gone and
Mm-hmm.
noticed that you were gone. I was like, "Why are you here by yourself?" And I was like, "Well, Connor had a little too much sun today. He didn't feel like coming down to dinner. Julie's
Mm-hmm.
staying with him." And they're like, tell us if there's anything you want to eat or
Mm-hmm.
that they want to eat." So I texted Julie. She looked at the menu for that day. Connor didn't really want anything. She listed a couple of appetizers she wanted. I asked Connor if he wanted an ice cream sundae. He said yes. They made sure that I had stuff to take up to them for that dinner that they missed.
Mm.
And it wasn't just the two of them, like the manager of the team also had talked to me about it and they remembered. And the next day when we all came down for dinner, every single one of them was so attentive to make sure that, they acknowledged, how are you feeling today? All right, it's good to see you again. I'm glad to see things are better for you. And how can we help you? And it just,
Mm.
that's again, that's to me, that's as much pixie dusting someone as getting something for free. Like
Right.
they really did show a lot of care, and I
Yeah.
appreciated that.
Ugh, that's so heartwarming. And that's the Disney difference. And that's why people keep coming back. And, because they could have created a magical space that was beautiful and fun and all of that stuff. But if you don't have an extra special touch on the customer service side, people are not going to want to continue to come back as often as they do.
Right.
So, yeah, that's amazing.
I have one last highlight about the cruise
Mhm.
that I want to share, and that is, and again, it's about the staff. So the other thing that Julie and I like to do, and I swear to you, both podcasts I've talked a lot about consuming alcohol. This is not. This is Vacation Pat. So Vacation Pat
Uh-huh.
does this, but we signed up for several of the various tastings because it's an opportunity to
Mhm.
like we signed up, but we signed up for three different courses together: mixology, um, margarita, no mojito. Sorry, mojito,
Mhm.
and um, oh, martini. Those are the three,
Oh,
and we
okay.
had they were all three in one of the lounges, the Skyline Lounge. They were
Mhm.
hosted by the bartender there, young man named Gladwin from India. He was wonderful and engaging, and you learn a lot out of these courses. But he also then, like we ended up, Julie loved going to the Skyline Lounge. We night
Mhm.
capped every evening in this particular lounge, and it's neat. It has these big video boards behind the bar that are of these six different locations around the world, and every 15 minutes the location changes. So one moment you're in Paris, the next you're in London, then you're in
Mhm.
Barcelona, and then you're in um, oh gosh, I'm gonna Athens and so on.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but we spent every evening there. We got to know Gladwin. We got to know uh, Julie. There was another
Mhm.
Julie who was one of the bartenders there,
Mhm.
and she's gonna kill me if I get the name wrong. So I'm not. But there was a third young man that was there, um, and just over the course of being down there and spending time, and we would only have like a drink
Mhm.
and we met again. We met another couple from Canada this time that were. It was just a lot of fun. We would end up spending every evening there. The bar would close at midnight. By the time we left that lounge after our third straight night on the night before we had to get off the ship, we were
Mhm.
literally like shaking hands with them and thanking them for just how great of an experience they gave us. They were
Mhm.
so fun to talk to. They some of the staff apparently got to get off the ship on debarkation day for a little while to go to Hollywood Studios,
Mhm.
and two of them were there. Damien, that was the name, I think. Um, but they got to get off the ship. They told us all about what they were going to do at Hollywood Studios.
Mhm.
This is the sort of stuff that you can get out of a Disney cruise
Mhm.
that I just, and I'm sure there are other places and people have had similar experiences, but it really did feel like we had made three friends, um,
Yeah.
after being on that ship for all that, and to get off at the end of that all, and uh, just it made the trip feel special. It made those nights
Mhm.
feel like great nightcaps. And it is hard to describe a cruise. I think Disney does a lot of things right with it. We didn't do a lot of character meet and greets. We
Mhm.
didn't do a lot of that stuff, but that ship was still had something for us. And I think that's
Right.
the great thing about a cruise is Connor could go to Edge and vibe and enjoy that, or hang in a stateroom while
Mhm.
laid up with a sunburn and watch Disney films on
Mhm.
repeat. And
Mhm.
and room service comes in as free, and people will check on you. And so
Mhm.
we've already done. Oh, they don't call it placeholder, but we've already set ourselves up for our next Disney cruise after we get
Mhm.
through these next cruises, because I do
Do they
think the
call it a bounce
experience.
back like they do for
No,
the
oh, that's what
resort?
it's placeholder for cruises. It's bounce back for hotels at
Got it.
Disney World. That's what it is.
And
Um,
how does the placeholder work? Like, how much money are you putting
so
down, and when do you have to decide when you're going to actually take the cruise?
so you have to book your placeholder while on the cruise,
Mhm.
while on the cruise itself. I don't remember how much you have to put down. I'd have to ask Julie on that one to get back. But I do know you get 10% back, or you get
Mhm.
10% off that cruise that you book, and you have
Mhm.
2 years from date of the current sailing to do it.
Okay.
If you don't book, you get your money back.
Oh, okay.
So you're not
And
out the deposit, I don't think.
okay. And if you book a cruise with a travel agent and you do the placeholder for the next one, can you roll your travel agent into
Yes.
that so that it's associated with them too?
Yeah, we're Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly actually knew
Mhm.
we had done it when we did it, because she's able to track what we're doing on the cruises because we
She's
booked through
like
her.
texting you the minute you get off, like,
So she's
congratulations on
like,
your
hey.
placeholder.
Right. And we will, of course,
Yeah.
I'm biased. She's a friend of mine, but
Mhm.
1000% we'll be using her. She, like most travel agents, like we
Mhm.
got a little bit of onboard credit. That does go a long way, because, it's not a drink package
Right.
on a Disney cruise. Like every alcoholic beverage, every special coffee, we
Mhm.
probably spent as much in special coffee, by the way, on this cruise as we did in alcohol, because they have a coffee shop. It's called Cove Cafe,
Mhm.
and they're on all the Disney cruise ships.
Mhm.
But you go there, they have a little coffee punch card system, just like a lot of other
Mhm.
places. Every 5 coffees, you get another one free. We went through
Mhm.
3 of those cards, Virginia.
Oh my word. I
Yes,
did not think you were gonna say that.
because, well, so the two of us would go up there and we'd get two
Uh-huh.
coffees,
Yeah.
and it's really quite, especially if you stay on ship during
Mhm.
a port day.
Mhm.
um, they're great places if you just want to not be in your room but be
Right.
somewhere quiet.
Mhm.
Like, I read a book
Mhm.
for a good hour and a half, 2 hours in
Yeah.
the Cove Cafe, and again, they're very attentive. uh,
Mhm.
and that was as much our happy place as Skyline was to close the night.
Yeah, I know I recently had spoken with Miranda and Corey of Bibbidi Bobbidi Benfields, and so they did a cruise episode with me, and I think that what they had said, I would have to go back and look at my transcript of the episode, which
Right.
uh, I could do, but I'm not going to do it in this moment. But I think it's like a salted caramel something that they had raved about liking from that cafe, and they said the same thing. They like to go back there multiple times because it was so good.
I got a caramel mocha, a hot
Mhm.
caramel mocha there
Mhm.
just about every time.
Mhm.
Julie changed it up a little bit, but and this is the other silly thing: anything with foam and hot,
Mhm.
they put a character on it. So
Yeah.
I and it
Why
was
not?
and they were still doing Valentine's Day
Mhm.
pictures. So, like, there was one that I got that was Donald and Daisy. There was a cutesy little Donald, but then about halfway through the cruise, they switched, and it
Mhm.
started being typical characters. I got like Captain America like twice. But so it just
Mhm.
gives you an idea of how, like, you could get a classic character, or you could get a Marvel character. On the
Mm-hmm.
Treasure, I got Star Wars characters all the time.
I love that. I cannot wait to try it myself.
Yes.
Any other things you want to mention about the cruise itself, or about what is hard to believe was yesterday when you uh, did your debarkation and made your way back
Yeah.
home? So
Yeah.
how did all that go?
Debarkation. To the random person who I still haven't figured out that shoveled my driveway after
Oh.
Massachusetts got a snowstorm, so that when we came
Mm.
home last night and my
Mm-hmm.
driveway was shoveled or snow blown, thank you. I hope you were listening. Um,
Okay. I'm gonna, you know
deep,
what? I probably wasn't because I don't know how close you guys live, but I'm just gonna give Kelly the credit. Like that's part of
sure.
her travel agent service, I'm sure.
So I did like the public Facebook thing, and she was like, "I
uh,
thought about it. Does that count?" So I will we'll count it. Debarkation of cruise ship. It's really interesting. The
mm-hmm.
things that are just important to keep in mind is you do have to be a little bit of a planner if you want to take advantage of luggage being taken off the ship, because you
Mm-hmm.
do have to have your bags out in front of your stateroom by 10 p.m. the night
Mm-hmm.
before, so that they can collect them and have them ready. Everybody gets tags based on characters. That's how they roll you progressively off of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But and so that is one of those things that you can't get lost in a fun day. It would have been a Castaway Key Day had it not been canceled. It was a day at sea, so it made it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit easier. But it is just really important to not lose that detail.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to find yourself with 5 bags of luggage trying
Mm,
to get off
yeah.
the ship and go through customs, and you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You just really don't. So that would be the last tip that I would give, is just book some time, maybe at around at just after dinner or just before, depending on what time you got. Fill that
Mm-hmm.
stuff up. I lied. I got one other thing
Okay.
I need to tell you.
Okay. Love it.
So if you'll recall from our
Mm-hmm.
previous cruise talk, the stage show,
Uh-huh.
how I had described the Goofy Sees the Adventure show as a fever dream that made
Uh-huh.
no sense and terrified me and hated it.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to give the fantasies version a chance. So Julie
Mm-hmm.
and I watched Disney's Believe, and here's what I'm going to say. It is still a fever
Okay.
dream, but the story is better,
Uh-huh.
and is told in a way that Julie admitted it. The finale got her a little bit. Now she didn't
Mm-hmm.
full on cry. She's not the crier that I am, but she did say it got her a little in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
But the basic story is it's about a father who is very um, practically minded.
Mm-hmm.
It's his daughter's birthday. He's getting ready for this big event that is important to his career, and he
Mm-hmm.
sort of denies his daughter's belief in magic. And as he's trying to think of ways that he wishes he could make it better, he's like, if I could just rub this flower pot and a genie would pop out, it'd make everything okay. And of course, he does it, and the genie from Aladdin pops out, and
Mm-hmm.
thus begins the journey of Fever Dream Disney film mashups that had
Uh-huh.
characters I would never have dreamed of seeing on. It had Merlin from The Sword and the Stone.
Wow.
I Merlin, Mary Poppins, Baloo,
Yeah.
Rafiki, like
Old
all
school.
of these characters. Yeah, it was a lot
Mm-hmm.
of good stuff. It's a better show. I did enjoy it. The actors are tremendous. They have great
Mm-hmm.
voices. Um, I will never watch Seize the Adventure again. You could probably convince me to watch Believe again.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that Miranda and Corey had been saying that they really enjoyed as well, and I think that got them in the feels. So, yeah, that's two recommendations for Believe. All right.
There you
Well, three because they're two people, and well, I guess four because Julie as well. So,
There you go. Hey, it all works out.
four recommendations. Oh, fantastic. Oh, okay. Well, I always like to ask this, but what is your next plan in terms of like a Disney or other magical vacation that you have on your horizon?
So our next magical vacation will be in July with
Mm.
our good friend Kelly, doing a. It's not Disney. It's the Princess Cruise Line
Hmm.
Mediterranean cruise, where we're going to be departing Rome. Uh,
Yes.
Connor's first big time trip. Like this is true international travel.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to play it cool, but I think he's excited for it. Uh, and then a year later we're doing a Carnival, or no, Royal Caribbean Alaskan cruise. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't figured out when our next Disney trip will be just
Mm-hmm.
yet. But I'd be disingenuous if I didn't tell you I was trying to figure out when the points reload,
Mm-hmm.
when it's time to talk about it, because my next goal is to hopefully take my parents, because my
Mm-hmm.
parents have never. My mom has always wanted to go to Florida and in Disney World, and that's a trip I would like to be able to give for them. So we'll see if that
Mm-hmm.
happens.
I feel like you have a good shot. You're a good uh, planner aheader.
We
you,
try.
you're you're good at that kind of thing, especially when it comes to these vacations. And I think that it speaks to the fact that you and your family really value what vacations and trips and getting away together can do for you. That spending time together outside of your normal everyday routine, it's just it changes the vibe within your family to be like, we've had this special time together, and kind of like helps you reconnect and just have some fun. And so I think that you're doing it right in that way. I love how much you value these experiences together, and I hope that others will remember. I don't want to say like you can always get more money, like I mean, people say
No,
that,
but
and you have to balance that with like, yes, and
oh,
I also need
absolutely.
to save for retirement. But I think you never know what's going to happen in the future, and taking advantage of the fact that you're a DVC member and that you would like to take your parents and all of our parents, that those people who still have their parents. I'm somebody who no longer has either of my parents. um trying to set aside the time, the money, the energy that it takes to plan something like this, to make that happen for yourself. Like we talked about return on investment earlier, put the energy and the effort into it so that you can have those memories and that special time away from the everyday together.
I couldn't agree more.
And with that, we both get verklempt.
No,
Well, Pat, it's been so much fun talking to you. I always have a good time talking to you, and I really, again, another shout out to Kelly for bringing us together and for adding you into my group of Disney friends, and hopefully somebody that I'll get to see in person in the future, and also that you will come back on the podcast at some time in the future. So
oh, I don't know if I could miss it at this point. Like I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me again. It's always fun, and I the best part of doing this is being able to share an
mhm.
experience with folks, and I hope people enjoy it. I hope your listeners enjoy it, and I'm glad that we were able to talk.
Thank you again to Pat for being a wonderful guest and for sharing all the details of your amazing trip. I still cannot believe that Charles said he'd like to try a Disney cruise, and it was just as simple as mentioning that you were taking one. And with that, thank you all so much for continuing to listen and support the show. Please make sure you leave a rating or a review on the podcast app you're listening on now, or through my website, which is whereilongtobepodcast.com. And don't forget to share the show with others. It will help the show be found more easily when someone is searching for trip reports. Have a magical day and keep daydreaming about where you long to be.